All right, and we are live. What's up, sir? Thank you for coming on.
Get to be on Playing with Fire, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
All right, guys. So do me a favor. It's showing up a little laggy on my end, so give me a thumbs up if the connection is good for you, if you can see and hear everything just fine, and give me a thumbs down or a fuck you or a whatever if you can't hear anything or see anything. So give me some feedback on how you guys are hearing this. But all right, man. So yeah, Justin is someone who I was introduced to fairly recently, but he has quite an interesting story, so I wanted to have him on and just share everything. I think there's a lot we can get into, but I think we should start with the bread and butter, and that's the Mexico debacle. Well, actually, first, do you want to just give a little, before we get into that, do you want to introduce yourself? So for anyone who doesn't know who you are.
Awesome. So guys, what's up? Justin Marc. I have a YouTube channel where I've been teaching and practicing pickup in 50 different countries over the last 7 to 8 years. So I started YouTube in 2014. I started coaching in around the same time. And it's been cool. It's been interesting. Been traveling all around the world. A lot of you guys might know my good friend Bradicus. I was living with him in Mexico, where we just had a huge fucking media scandal, which was terrifying. And it's still fucking my life up a little bit, but it's pretty interesting at the same time. It's been great. So right now, I'm pretty much, I can't say where I'm at. I'm pretty much in hiding in a foreign third world country on the beach, okay? I'm like minutes away from the ocean with my girlfriend. Hola. You want to say hi? Say hi real quick.
Hi.
We're just we're pretty much in hiding, just like fucking like locking ourselves in, hiding, and trying to deal with all the shit that's been going on with the whole media scandal that happened. Because it's
so Justin, give a little background for people who are not familiar with that. So what exactly happened?
So pretty much what happened was me and Brad were creating an online dating course, and we were just like rampaging with online dating. We were just going really fucking hard, right? So pretty much we got to a point where we're literally getting like thousands of matches every single day, right? And
you guys were in Mexico, right?
Yeah, I'm not joking. Like we had days where we get over 1,000 matches. Like almost every. I remember there was like 2 days where I used Tinder in Mexico, and each day I got over 1,000 matches, which is fucking crazy. And so if 1,000 girls are matching you in a city of 28 million people or 26 million people, whatever Mexico City is, right? That means like tens of thousands of girls were probably seeing us, right? And we're doing all kinds of interesting strategies, such as ads, Instagram ads, such as pretty much hacking the algorithm on Tinder. So we're seen by like an insane reach of people. It's almost like ridiculous when you think about how many people would have been seeing us. And pretty much what happened was, we had all these girls where we even go down the street. Like I remember I was out on the street, I did a cold approach, and I was interviewing the girl for my channel. I was interviewing this girl, asking her about online dating, if she ever used Tinder. And she was like, yeah, we actually matched. And I'm like, oh, that's weird, right? And that started happening a lot. Like we would go out and girls would know us from fucking online dating and Tinder and stuff like that, because we were there during the peak quarantine, all that good stuff, right?
Oh.
So pretty much what happened was this random like feminist girl made a post about Brad saying, hey, have you seen this guy on Tinder? Because I saw this guy on my friend's Tinder, and I've noticed that a few of my friends matched him on Tinder. And then another girl commented being like, yeah, him and his friend Justin make these videos about picking up girls. It was actually a girl who knows me, if you know what I'm saying. And pretty much this girl.
Was this a chick in Mexico or chick in America?
It was all these girls were girls in Mexico City. So all these girls it was a Facebook thread that pretty much became viral overnight. It got about 20,000 shares in like 20 hours.
Oh, shit.
Okay? Fucking crazy. Now, if you think about it, right? 20,000 shares. Let's say the average person only had 50 friends on Facebook, and probably the average person has about 500 friends on Facebook. It got seen by at least 1 million people, but I estimate like probably got seen by at least 50 million, maybe over 10 million people.
I'm not really understanding what the big deal is. Like, you guys are just getting a lot of matches on Tinder. Like, you guys aren't doing anything wrong.
We're literally just getting a lot of matches on Tinder. And so it wasn't a big deal. All these girls were just complaining that we're getting a lot of matches. But it got to a point where, like, we were just trolling girls. We just had so many matches where we would just troll girls. It got to a point where,
like, maybe push it, playing with fire a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. So pretty much, think about this, right? We were Brad was notorious for this, where he would set up like 8 dates at the same time. at different bars all on the same street. So you got one street with like 8 different bars in it. He'd have different girls meeting at different bars. And he'd meet up with one girl, call her, and 7 girls are waiting for him, and he just never shows up. And you do that every single day for almost 6 months. So you can only assume.
Wait, what was the point? Like, why set up so many dates?
Well, because of coronavirus, a lot of girls were being really, really fucking flaky. So he would set up like 20 dates at a time, and let's say like 5 to 10 other girls show up, and you do that like twice a day. And so he's pretty much flaking like 20 girls a day, right? And over the course of like 6 months, you're flaking hundreds, if not thousands, of girls, pissing a lot of girls off. We're just getting banned.
Those poor Mexicana chicas. They just want to meet a nice Australian boy like Bradicus.
Right? They just want this like nice Australian man, and Brad's just this notorious fuck boy. And here's the problem, okay? Latin culture, they're very passionate. They're very like, they feel things. They feel it, right? And here's really what triggered the media scandal. One girl commented on the thread saying the Brad guy called me a fat Mexican. Now, the reason he did that was because the girl messaged him saying, "You're a dirty Australian. I don't want to meet you. Fuck you." Right? So he's like, fuck you.
She just hit him up with that out of the blue, like with
no dude. Again, right? When you're matching and messaging thousands of girls, for example, I had about 1,000 girls' numbers in Mexico City. Brad had 5,000 girls' numbers in just a few months, right? And so, statistically speaking, you're gonna get some girls who are like annoyed that we're messaging them every day, because what we were doing is we were using a broadcast feature with WhatsApp where it's kind of like an email list. We send out one text message, goes out to thousands of girls. Does it kind of make sense? And so some girls would eventually be like, "Why are you messaging me every single day?" Dude, it's like an automated response. We wouldn't even reply to their message. We're just like broadcasting them every single day, like a fucking email list, right? Like when someone emails you back privately on your email list, you're not going to manually message them back more often than not. You're just going to send out more emails on your broadcast. Right. And so pretty much what happened was this girl messaged Brad saying, "You're a fucking dumb Australian. Fuck you." And so he says, "You're a fat, poor Mexican." And this girl took a screenshot, posting the thread, and next thing you know, we're having an international media scandal. This congresswoman comes out and says, "Brad's harassing girls." They mentioned me as his accomplice. Like, it didn't really make sense because my time in Mexico, I mean, don't get me wrong, hooked up with a lot of girls, but in my time in Mexico, I had 2 girlfriends. I had a girlfriend for about two months, and then when I left, I had a girlfriend for another 3 months.
Justin, so how did Daily Mail get involved in this whole thing? Because aren't they British? So what's English newspapers doing?
So you gotta understand something, right? The way this works, it's all propaganda. It's not real. It's just selling newspapers.
Yeah, I think pretty much everyone on my channel gets that. So that goes without saying.
It starts from a random girl posting a random thing on Facebook, right? And she's a random feminist girl, and the next thing you know, a feminist blog picks it up and starts taking their claims as factual, which it's absolute bullshit. The funniest thing, there's no evidence of anything except Brad calling a girl like a fat Mexican, saying you're an unattractive fat Mexican, and the blocks her, right? That's like the only thing they have proof of, which is like the girl deleted her message of her saying you're an ugly Australian or whatever. So that's how this media scandal got triggered, right? For me personally, when girls message me anything negative, I just don't reply. I literally don't have time.
But how did Daily Mail specifically get involved in this whole thing?
So so first it's a random feminist girl on Facebook, then it's a feminist blog, then it's like mainstream news outlets in Mexico pick it up, then all of a sudden news outlets all over the world were picking it up, right? And so they're pretty much referencing each other as where the story comes from. So the Daily Mail is referencing the news articles in Mexico as their point of reference. The news articles are referencing the feminist blogs. The feminist blogs are referencing a random Facebook status. And you got to keep in mind, we haven't met any of these girls. These girls who are like claiming that we're creepy sex tourists or whatever, we've never met these girls. The girls that we've actually met were messaging us, defending us. The girls I've actually met were messaging me saying, "Justin, we're such a nice guy when we met." Because like, dude, in Mexico, in just a few months, I hooked up with about 30 women, okay? And I had 2 girlfriends in that time as well. And, I had a lot of girls' numbers who I met them, and they were messaging me saying, "Dude, you're such a nice guy. Why are they right?" Probably over 20 girls messaged Brad saying, "You were so nice. Why are they saying these things about you?" Right? Like, why are they calling you a creepy sex tourist and all this shit, right? But it got to the point where I think Brad's actually banned from Mexico because this congresswoman. Okay, so get this. This is where it really got crazy. A woman who works for the for the government. She's a politician. she had a media scandal a few years ago where she was blackmailing girls, or she was blackmailing a girl, like threatening to send her nudes out online or something. And I think she did it. So she had a media scandal about it. So I guess to like save face, she started, targeting. She specifically started targeting guys like us. She started targeting like some sort of like Mexican Telegram group. Guys share nudes of other girls. She started targeting, our shit. And it's just crazy how this works. Because at the end of the day, man, me and Brad are pretty nice guys. I try to be really respectful when I'm on dates with girls. I try to treat the girls like really fucking well. And like literally just because I like them. I'm a nice guy. I'm not an asshole, right? And it's crazy. Like they were claiming that we like set up cameras in our rooms and film nude videos of like girls having sex with Brad. And they're claiming that Brad has sex with girls, and I like stand in the corner and I film it on my camera. I'm like,
Brad is cucking you or something like that.
like I'm like hiding the camera behind the curtain and like filming it with it doesn't make any sense, right? So okay, don't get me wrong. I film like daily vlogs. A lot of my content on my channel is like it's just like almost like travel vlogs with a mix of.
I just want to focus on this a little bit just before we get into that. So, okay. What was the extent of the legal thing? So, did you guys officially ever get kicked out of Mexico, or what was?
So we left. We're not in Mexico. I can't even say where we are, but we're.
Are you guys still together?
We're not. We're not. My girlfriend is getting sketched out because the news just kept coming out every day. In fact, she was making it worse because she's Mexican, and so every day her family members, her friends, everyone, like people in her inner circle, are messaging her all these like news articles. And here's the problem: she's an influencer. She's got like 100,000 TikTok followers and like 50,000 on Instagram. She's in like movies and TV shows and stuff like that. So a lot of people know who she is. So she was starting getting targeted. So, like these feminist pages started tagging my girlfriend in articles and stories.
Just to be clear, when you say targeting, you mean mainly like online? Like, was anyone actually coming up to you in real life?
Well, we didn't really leave the apartment. I just stayed. So we were only in Mexico for one more week before we left, and I just stayed inside. I literally didn't fucking leave the house. Yeah, I didn't leave the house.
Did you feel like you were possibly in physical danger, or?
So we were with David Bond and Squad and Casanova in Mexico City, and there was people like stalking them on the street, like following them, and so they jumped in Uber and went home. So they had one experience like that. I had a couple experiences where like my girlfriend's friends knew obviously about it because they saw the articles, and this is really fucked up, right? Because these feminist blogs started tagging her in stories and started telling people to go report her account. And she started getting like me and Brad were getting like thousands of follow requests, thousands, which is crazy. We had to private our social medias, which eventually got banned. My Facebook got banned. So my Instagram got banned. I got it back, and then it got banned again.
Okay, so let's get into that. So Brad's channel got banned. His Facebook got banned. His Instagram
got banned. His mailing platform, MailChimp, got banned. His Airbnb got banned through 2 Facebook accounts.
What exactly did they ban him for? Like, why are these social media?
They never tell you. They say breaking terms of service, and then you ask them what it is. They don't tell you. Now, this is where it gets scary. This is where it gets really scary. So right before our live stream, I was freaking the fuck out because I had to move. So I was staying in Airbnb, and then I had a weird feeling. So because here's what happened. My Airbnb got banned as well. And
your what got banned?
My Airbnb account got banned. And so I was using one of my friend's Airbnb accounts, okay? And I was using it with a VPN, and I was only using it on my laptop and stuff like that. And I had my friend pay for it on his credit card, and I sent him the money. So that way it's completely untraceable, right? That's what I thought. I thought it was untraceable. And then I tried to log back in the Airbnb account, and it said that the account was disabled. So I called my buddy. His name is Nick Dora. He's another pickup coach from Toronto. And he's got a really solid game. And he was like in the middle of boot camp, and he fucking checks his email, and he fucking starts freaking out because he's like, dude, they banned my Airbnb account and they canceled your reservation. And I logged in it allowed me to log in his Airbnb account on my laptop, and it wouldn't let me message the Airbnb host, and they sent an email saying you have to leave right now, get the Airbnb. They wouldn't refund my money either, right?
Oh, fuck, man.
I know. It's horrible.
Dude, this is so preposterous. Like, you're not actually doing anything against Airbnb policies. Like, how is the fact that you were in a media scandal related to your Airbnb status? Like, these fucking, like, this is like, you know how they used to say bandwagon fan when someone like follows a sports team when they become popular? That's what all these companies are doing in reverse. Like, like, let's hate on this guy some more. Let's ban his Airbnb account.
100%. No, but what's crazy is like this is the 4th Airbnb account that got banned this week. because I made a new account, then I made a new account, and they just kept getting banned. And I'm trying to
figure out because Airbnb you can actually call. Did you call them and see what the reason was?
I just think it's not worth my time because it's gonna take like. Well, I contacted the support team and they just said they couldn't tell me why I'm banned. They're like your profile matches the identity or could be related to someone who's not allowed on our platform, which I assume is Brad. And so they banned my account. So
what, you're guilty by association? You're friends with Brad?
Literally, it's like you're friends with this guy, so we're gonna ban your Facebook, which means my Instagram is banned, which means anything that's linked to my Facebook is banned. My Airbnb account's banned. Just it's horrible. But your
YouTube is still up and running, right?
I privated about 100 videos, and I actually have like 50 videos ready to publish on YouTube. I'm way the fuck ahead. I film an insane amount of content, and I took a break from publishing content just because I don't want all this content in Mexico. I don't want to like re-trigger the media scandal. I don't want them coming after me, right? And it's like, don't get me wrong. Okay, cool. Did I hook up lots of girls in Mexico? Sure, I did. Did I date really hot girls from Tinder and online dating? Of course, right? But was it consensual and respectful? Yes, it fucking was. And they're just making things up and passing off as fact, saying these guys record sex videos and sell it online. Now, if you get our course, if you get like, they're saying behind Brad's paywalls, he has videos of him having sex with women that you have to pay for. And like, what's
who the fuck would pay for that? That argument doesn't work just because no one's going to want to watch Brad.
Here's the craziest thing. The congresswoman, she actually bought one of Brad's courses, right? And what's funny, he was able to catch it because he was like, oh, I just got to steal it from Mexico. And he banned her account. And then we later on realized it was a congresswoman. So funny enough, we have all her information, her phone number, her credit card details and stuff, which is ridiculous when you think about that. But it's like she actually bought, the behind the scenes of, our product, and there's nothing illegal in the fucking course, in the material, right? So they're literally targeting us for essentially no reason, which is insane. Now, again, this girl had a media scandal because she was blackmailing some girl, threatening to like send her nudes online. So I guess she kind of does this to kind of like save face. Maybe
most of these people are hypocrites. Normal people don't make such a big deal. Like normal people just don't give a shit.
Of course.
Even if they don't like what you're doing, like
dude, when this media scandal's happening,
my mom is not a pickup artist, right? If she found out, if she read the newspaper, she'd be like, "Oh, these boys," but she wouldn't like fucking care. Like she wouldn't follow you around, try to ban you. Like the only weirdos do shit like that. Dude, that's nuts. So the part that's the most surprising to me is the fact that your MailChimp got banned. To be honest.
It's a mind fuck, dude. It's a mind fuck. And you know what's even crazier? So we launched a course recently, and in our sales page, we say that we got banned from Airbnb, YouTube, Instagram, and like all these platforms where we got banned in the past. And I guess they see that, these companies see that, and they use that as like reason to reban us, which is fucking ridiculous, right? Even though we haven't actually the term of service. I don't know. It's how it is, man. This is the society we live in. And so I guess there's like...
This is why I'm a huge proponent for anyone who works in our industry, is to try to have as much control over platforms as you can. So that's why I'm a huge proponent of having as much stuff on your own website. That's why I created the Playing with Fire forum.
Your own email list, all that good stuff.
Yeah, you should try to own and have power over everything. And you want to be on a mail.
I called him last week. Well, he called me. Like I was just chilling with my girlfriend, and I was with Brad, and he called me because we're friends. We talk every now and then, and he was following this because he messaged me, and he's like, "Yo, did you guys get media in Mexico?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we did." So then he called me, and he told me, "Look, it's probably at the end. It's gonna blow over." But then the next day we got banned from Facebook.
It's definitely going to blow over eventually.
Of course, it always blows over eventually, right? But then it's like, look, I spent years building up my Instagram.
Yeah. Dude, that's just so shitty. I really feel for you because I had my Facebook group banned. My original Playing with Fire.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know
about that, man.
I was in a Vice article. I had my Facebook group banned, and that sucked. We had 10,000 people at the time, so. Yeah,
crazy.
It sucks. It really sucks. I hate the stupid cancel culture. Like we don't like something, let's cancel it. Like it's so fucking retarded. Like if you don't like what you're doing, then just make a video calling you out. Make a video calling you a fag. Like make a video that contradicts what you're saying. But don't like try to
happen. That's what used to happen. But we live in an entirely different world now. I think after about 4 years ago, like a huge shift in like the power dynamics of like society. I think when Donald Trump became president, like people from different political parties, they started like funding different things. You know what I mean? And now you have this cancel culture because it's in it before. Because I had YouTubers make videos making fun of me. There was this YouTuber named Leafy is Here, okay? And he quit at about 4 million YouTube subscribers. And when he had about 1 million subscribers, he made a video roasting me. I had like no followers. I had like a few thousand followers. And his video got 1 million views. The video of him just roasting me, okay? And, cool. It was a big deal. It was scary or whatever. It made me feel bad. But it didn't affect my business. It didn't, like, affect my ability to earn income and live. You know what I mean? Like, because, look, I'm in a foreign country taking care of my girlfriend, right? And I'm, like, on the phone with my buddy in another country, and he's like, dude, it says that you got to leave the Airbnb right now. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where do we go? So I have to go online and book a fucking hotel, even though I've already paid for the Airbnb and they won't refund the money. It's just a mind fuck, the world we're living in. You got to, like, really be careful of this shit because it's just fucking crazy, the world we're living in. You know what I mean?
The cancel culture is such bullshit. It's insane. Yeah, I mean, you know who Alex Jones is?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yes, I'm not a fan of him at all. He's a crazy motherfucker, right? He believes in some really weird shit. That being said, that motherfucker is literally banned from every single platform known to man. Why? Because he believes in aliens? Like, because he believes some weird shit? So what? You don't agree with him. Who gives a shit? But like,
I never heard about that. It's just crazy when you think about it, right? It's like once you become like
he's really wacky bad, but he's no crazier than like someone's weird uncle. Like he's not like dangerous crazy. He just believes some wacky shit. I met hundreds of people who believe wacky shit like him.
It's because people are. I think like there's people who own these platforms who have like certain sense of power. I don't know. They're scared of your voice. They're scared of your following. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's more of that. They're so scared of. It's just like this vicious cycle. It's like a chicken and egg. They're scared of media backlash. So they're scared that if they let you stay up, that someone's going to say, "Oh, look, YouTube supports blah blah blah," and then they're just so paranoid about that they're like, the policies now is that like if anything is even slightly possibly could make us look bad.
It's just like no questions asked. Like just like fuck off. We don't want anything to do with you. They just remove you from the platform. Even dude, I probably spend at least between like 50 and 100K on Airbnbs per year, right? And I always talk about Airbnbs in my videos, which is like free advertising, which is fucking crazy. And then they just remove me off the platform, which is like, what the fuck? Like, do you not want my money? I'm probably in like the top 1% of their customers, and they just remove me from the platform, which is a mind fuck, right?
Dude, you and Bradicus should create your own forums, and so you can have complete control over what you say, and you don't have to worry about being censored.
It is what it is, man.
We'll talk about it offline. Yeah, I'll hook you. I'll introduce you to my tech guy and shit.
Awesome, that'd be awesome.
We'll talk about it offline. All right, cool. So let's crack into it because we got a lot of questions. So let's
we have a lot.
Let's get started on some of these. Okay, so I'm gonna skip some of the bullshit ones. Hey, Alex, can't stay on tonight. Just wanted to see how you guys are doing. You're drinking some wine tonight. I'm doing good. How are you doing, Justin?
Doing fucking awesome, man. Doing solid. Doing good.
Are we drinking some wine tonight? I'm personally sober. I really only drink on dates, to be honest, or like when I'm.
I don't drink alcohol at all. I haven't drank in over 2 years now.
Really? You don't have like any? You don't have a sip?
Like nothing. Now the only thing I drink is kombucha, which has like 0.01% alcohol in it.
We can't get drunk off kombucha, yeah.
Oh, of course not. Or like, I don't know. No, I don't drink alcohol.
You're gonna shit your pants before you get drunk because of all the probiotics.
Yeah.
What do you do when you go to bars?
Sober. So here's the thing. I used to be fucking like out of control drunk. Like I used to be like, it used to be ridiculous. Like I had times where I was like sober for a year and then I would just get drunk as fuck again. I used to work with Alex from Forward Natural and Bradicus, right? And you know, these guys drink, man, we would drink a lot. And I was living in Australia. I was in a fraternity. I used to drink a lot, man. Plus I was a club promoter. I'm getting free drinks every night. Get like $5 of free drinks every night. Of course we used to drink like crazy. And I knew that it was like bad for me. But I didn't see how it was like fucking up my life. And it was fucking up my relationships. It almost ruined a relationship I had with a girlfriend at one point. It was fucking up my business. It was fucking up everything. And after I quit drinking, my whole life just skyrocketed. I started getting laid way the fuck more too. Just like, because I'm in control. Like, there's so many times where like, there was girls who wanted me, but I was just like so drunk that I was like, I would just end up fucking it up, if that makes sense. So
do you feel like you could drink in moderation though? Like you could have like a beer or two casually, or you feel like
probably not. Really,
you start drinking, you're gonna go down the rabbit hole.
Probably not. Like I know my personality type, super addictive. Like when I do something, I go all in, right? And so probably not. Like when I would get drunk, man, I would get fucked up. I would get really fucked up. Like any night, I used to drink almost 7 days a week. So I kind of just cut it out because it wasn't productive for where I want to be in life. You know what I mean? And I could see that if I keep drinking, it's gonna like fuck me up long term. So I cut it out, and I don't need it. Like I really don't need it.
Yeah, some people are like that. Like they can't. Like me personally, like I can easily like have like a shot or like have a drink and just put like I can just have one drink a night. But I know people like
it's horrible for your body, Alex. It's really bad for you. It's fucking horrible for your body.
In moderation, it's not that bad. Like if you have a drink or two, it's okay. It's when you're drinking
like every now and then, it's not a big deal. But that wasn't me. You know what I mean? And so like also keep in mind, I'm 115 pounds. So like 2 beers for me is like 5 beers. You know what I mean? It's like I can get pretty drunk off like 2 beers. But we used to drink a lot. Me and Brad used to drink a lot together. Like we used to drink like crazy. And so, you know, I figured if I want to like get to the next level in life, I need to cut it out. And funny enough, I get like way the fuck more after quitting drinking. A lot of people rely on it for dealing with their social anxiety, but I just like I don't really get social anxiety too much anymore. But when I do, I have like methods and like methodologies and philosophies to like overcome it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I used to when I first got into game, like I was drinking like I couldn't talk to girls without having 3, 4, 5 drinks. Like I wasn't an alcoholic, but I had to drink to socialize. Like now I can talk to girls super without problem.
Yeah, I was the same way.
Dude,
I couldn't talk to anybody without drinking, guys or girls. I couldn't fucking show. I'd have to like show up places drunk, man. I would show up to parties drunk. I'd have to get drunk before I show up to deal with my anxiety.
Dude, and then I discovered Kratom, and that was a game changer for me.
Oh, Kratom? Of course. Yeah. So my buddy Nick, I mentioned him. His name's Nick Dora. He lives in Toronto. He's been doing Kratom for like fucking almost 10 years or some shit. Yeah. And dude, he used to be one of the biggest distributors of Kratom in Toronto. Like our kitchen was like a wholesale packaging facility.
Dude, crazy. That's basically my kitchen. I have so many packs of Kratom.
Dude, I had
I have just a Kratom drawer.
Indonesia. We would get it imported in mass quantities from Indonesia, directly from suppliers in Indonesia. So we literally had like at any given time there was like 20 to 30 kilograms of it, just like in all our cabinets. It's everywhere. It's fucked up, dude. Like our condo was just fucked. There's green shit everywhere in the bathtub.
I know. These stains everywhere. Yeah. I know exactly.
I had like an all-you-can-eat supply of it, but I never really used it because it made me really anxious, to be honest. It made me like a little bit crazy.
It affects people differently. Some people do get that. Yep, I know many people who get it like that.
I used it a couple times though. It was pretty cool. It was cool. I definitely would recommend to some people. Kratom's a cool little fucking herb. I
would say it affects like half the people who take it get positive effect, and half of the people get neutral or negative effect. I know numerous people who I've given it to. Like every girl who I'm seeing, like I get them like into Kratom because it's like a big part of my life. Well, not that big, but whatever.
It hits me hard.
Like, some of them are all about it. Some of them are like no.
Here's the problem with Kratom though. It's an opioid, so it's in the same fucking like drug family as like heroin and shit. Because of that, it's addictive. Now it's not as addictive as heroin, but it's still addictive. And if you stop taking it, you'll have like withdrawals and shit, right? And I don't want to deal with that.
Yes and no. I mean, it is. It's not full. It's not 100% innocent. But I can tell you, there was like about 1.5 years ago, there was a salmonella. No, maybe 2 years ago, salmonella outbreak in Kratom. So I had to quit Kratom cold turkey for 2 weeks. I mean, that was fine. Like it wasn't like I remember when I had a shoulder operation like 4 or 5 years ago. You know, like it wasn't like I was abusing drugs. They gave me painkillers after the operation. I took them for 3 months and then they ran out. Dude, like after that, like I went into legit depression. Like I was like, it was probably one of the lowest points of my life. Like just life didn't feel like worth it.
Again, it's natural. It's a fucking plant.
Yeah, Kratom is like a much more milder version of that. But yeah, it's something that you should do in moderation. Like you shouldn't abuse it for sure.
It's cool. I see these things as tools. And I've always been the kind of guy, I don't like to rely on anybody or anything for my results. You know what I mean? When it comes to game, that's also partly why I wanted to like just cut out drinking because I struggled quitting drinking. Like I was off and on, and I wouldn't necessarily use drinking to get girls ever. It was more so like to deal with my social anxiety. But once I got into game, I didn't really need it anymore. It was more of an alcohol addiction, if anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. All right, let's hop on the next question. So, Mark, you talked about being an awkward brown guy with women. Now you have so much people in your life. How do you see yourself change? How did family plus friends see you change?
It's crazy. Okay, so first I'll answer how did family and friends see you because, like, for example, I grew up religious. I used to go to church 2 to 3 times a week, which is fucking insane. and super close to my family, and they're super religious. And I remember when they came across my pickup content on YouTube, they were just like, "What the fuck?" Like, their son, my mom pretty much was like, "Why couldn't my son just be gay instead of being like a pickup artist?" You know what I mean?
Really?
Like, that's how
mom wants that. That's like even worse. I feel like.
No, like she rather have me be like into like a nerd or a fucking loser than be into like some weird pickup shit. You know what I mean?
Oh.
But you know, over the years, they saw how I was helping people and changing people's lives, which was awesome, right? And so they saw that the content was motivational. It was, you know, self-development based. It was about, you know, helping other guys become the best version of themselves. And so I become the best version of myself. And so they became really supportive about it. And then I almost became this like authority in all my, like everyone I grew up with. I remember they were kind of like giving me shit for all the pickup stuff I was doing. But then they see me making a lot of money, traveling the world, dating really hot girls, and hanging out with like famous influencers and shit. Like a lot of my friends are some of the biggest content creators in the world, right? And so, you know, what are they going to say? Like, don't go to the Philippines with your friend Jamie Zhu, who's like a massive content creator there. Don't make like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Don't do all these things that are, you know, really good for your life, right? I'm living a life everyone wants to live, right? What are they going to fucking say? But then also, I feel like every guy who goes through game and you go through all these experiences with women, it matures you. Like when you go through a lot of relationships, I find like long-term relationships or these crazy dating experiences kind of mature you as a man. And it kind of is more authoritative. And so it's like all of a sudden I could be around my family and they treat me as an adult, not like they're a little boy, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I can be around old friends and they look at me like this authority figure now. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's how that works. It's like, now don't get me wrong, I don't really see my old friends. Like I truly believe you become the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. So all my friends are like millionaires, influencers, like people who are killing it in life, okay? Like the top of the top. And I don't just hang out with these people because I'm a pretentious douchebag. It's just because I travel a lot and these people tend to have, you know, free time, money, and the ability to go travel. So I'm always traveling. Like I haven't been back to my home city of Toronto in almost a year, right? And so, you know, when I'm in a random foreign fucking country on the other side of the world and I call up a friend, I'm like, yo, you want to come to like Asia with me? Right? Like I was traveling Asia with my good friend Adrian G. And, you know, we're living in Australia and then traveling for like fucking 6 months. We're like living in LA last summer. Not everyone can do this, right? So I don't really get a chance to see my childhood friends or my family and all that good stuff that often, right? But when I do, it's like a different person. You know what I mean? It's really interesting when you apply this material and you practice game, you practice pickup, or even online dating can have that same effect. You know, your life is gonna fucking be really, really different.
So second part of the question, how did you see yourself change?
It's weird because, like, you know what's funny? I don't really feel that different. Like, I feel more sure of myself. I'm more of a go-getter. I'm more of a problem solver. You know, I'm more of like someone who just goes for what the fuck they want. Instead of being like a little pussy who cries about things, right? But deep inside, like, I'm sure you feel this way a little bit. Do you ever still feel like in a weird way, you're still like the little kid who you were when you're like 5 years old? Do you ever still feel that way a little bit? Like deep down, you're still that same you. You're still that same you who's always been there. You know what I mean? Because I look at a lot of my students, my clients, and I always ask them this, right? Or like every girl, for example, if you notice how every girl you date, if you look her deep in the eyes, deep down, she's like a little girl. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not saying I feel like a little boy in the slightest, but I still feel like that, you know, that innocent Justin before game still kind of exists somewhere deep down there. And I was so curious about it, so I want to learn more about it. And I started learning about something called inner child meditation. And in inner child meditation, they talk about how every single person has what they call an inner child that lives inside of you. And it's like part of your psyche. It's part of it, like the same way every human has like an ego, every human has an inner child that lives inside of you, okay? And pretty woo-woo shit, I know. Pretty like fucking weird, right? But I just thought it was really interesting how, like, you know, I don't necessarily feel that different. I just behave differently, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, well, me personally, I know what you're talking about, but I can't really relate. I got Lyme disease 2 years ago, and I came fairly close to death. So that part of me died. Like I have no like, there's no innocence or inner child anymore, but there used to be for sure. Maybe it'll come back one day. All right, so let's hop on the next question. Marc, long ago you posted a cringeworthy pic of you with a jar of Nutella in Costco. My question is, do you still love Nutella?
Here and there. I try not to eat processed sugar. He's talking about so there was this video that this other YouTuber made about me, which was actually not a bad video. It's a video about no fap because I haven't masturbated in over 4 years. So I'm like a huge advocate for the no fap community. And you know what no fap is, right? Like not masturbating.
I made a video on this a few months ago.
And so I haven't masturbated for like about 4.5 years now. And this dude who does videos about no fap, his name is Fearless Dan. He made a video about me talking about my no fap journey. I just woke up one day and I saw this video. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Right. And he showed a video of me when I was like,
kind of gay to talk about another man's jerking off habits.
I know. It's fucking so weird, dude. So weird. But I mean, it was an interesting video nonetheless. It was just kind of like a motivational speech kind of thing that he had going. But he showed a picture of me, and it was like the first month I started Game. And it was like a photo of me in Costco with a giant jar of Nutella. And it was just so interesting seeing where you can come from, where it's like, you know, of course I'm a different fucking person. Like, look, you can't go through this experience and go through this journey and become, you know, go through all these crazy experiences and maintain being that same person. You know, you become a different fucking person, right? It's weird how that works, but because like when I look at that photo, it's not me. It's like it's a fucking different human being. You know what I mean? That version of me fucking died through all these traumatic experiences I've gone through. Like this media thing, like it didn't really bother me too much. The thing that bothers me is like, you know, my business getting fucked up and not having a place to stay. My Airbnb's getting canceled. It's just frustrating, right? I don't really care about the media thing. I don't give a fuck about like some fucking neck feminist talking shit about me. You know, I know who I am. I know I haven't done anything wrong, but it's funny how it works. But to answer the question, Nutella is awesome.
Touche. All right, let's go to the next question because we got a lot to go through. For Justin, what were your Tinder results like in Toronto? Oh, good question.
So, that's a good question. So I recently tested this, and I was getting a lot of fun results in Toronto. So I can only imagine it would be like my Tinder profile is like insanely fucking optimized where I've tested all my photos. Okay, first of all, I've taken the photos in very exotic locations around the world. For example, like in Dubai with like I just can't explain it, man. I want to show you these photos. It's just, it's so fucking good. Like I've got like Dubai in the background and like overlooking. Like,
is there any videos where you show it? We can look in the description.
Let me see if I can like share my screen. I don't know if I have any videos. I private all my videos. I literally privated all my fucking videos. But like I private all my videos from like the last like 6 to 12 months. So I probably wouldn't have any videos right now of content with my Tinder profile. But let's put it this way: it's really good fucking photos in very scenic locations where I probably spent over $100,000 traveling these places. And then like a almost $3,000, or I think it's like a $2,000 US iPhone. Like my iPhone is like the best phone you could have.
What iPhone do you have?
Max Pro, 500 gigabytes. It costs like over $2,000 US. Okay, and so yeah, I spent like a fortune on this fucking phone, right? So it takes like the absolute best fucking photos. You know, unless I were to get like some like.
I don't know if that's a good idea though. If you're going to third world countries, man, some dude is just gonna fucking.
Dude, my girlfriend had her phone stolen.
Jack that phone.
3 days ago, my girlfriend had her phone stolen. So I had a second phone I used for Tinder, and she's using my Tinder phone. Anyway, so my photos were really fucking good, really optimized in scenic locations, wearing like designer outfits in all these amazing places. Then I tested them, and then I edited them, okay? And then I tested them again. So these photos are like.
So I want to touch on this. How do you personally test your photos? Do you use Photo Feeler? Do you ask girls?
Yeah, I use Photo Feeler, and then, which by the way, I don't think Photo Feeler is even entirely accurate. Because it's like
I 100% agree. I've been saying that since day one.
Photo
Feeler is not that good.
Algorithm where it's like they say it is, but at the same time, it's like you know who the fuck is testing who's the person.
I tested this extensively. I would take 5 pictures, see which one got the best result in Photo Feeler, and I would ask 5 hot girls who I know in real life, and the feedback was largely always different.
Okay, so for my understanding as well, it's like, look, my tested photos. They got way more matches on Tinder, way the fuck more. But it didn't necessarily get me more girls, more dates, more lays, if that makes sense. Okay? So, I mean, there's something I love to talk about called market demographics. Okay, look at me. I'm Indian as fuck, right? I'm brown, right? So, understand this, right? If you think about a brown guy in like, I don't know, Los Angeles, you think of like Rohinder, like the immigrant who works for like fucking some tech company doing like software engineering, right? And he's from like Bangalore, India or some shit, right? in a lot of places, girls have like weird Indian fetish notice. For pretty any girl, they're gonna have like a type, or they're gonna have like the kind of they're gonna be attracted to a certain type of guy. So I found a lot of the girls who are attracted to me, they like brown guys.
Curry chasers.
Say again?
Curry chasers.
Yeah, like curry chasers, right?
Curry diggers.
They're into like meditation or yoga or some sort of like weird hippie shit, or like some like weird meditation chanting thing, or like they have like some sort of like Buddhist fucking Hindu statue in their fucking room, right? Like my girlfriend does, and it's like
that's so true. It used to blow my mind. I have a buddy who lives in San Francisco. And he's like Pakistani or something like that.
Yeah.
But he has all these like it's always the type of girls you mentioned, the white chicks who are into yoga and India meditation, spirituality, like those chicks.
Now
like,
I've seen
always the same type of girl. They like literally pursue him. They just want to like I guess fuck him to prove they're not racist. I don't really know what it is.
Like a lot of these girls want to like they want to fuck the brown dude to prove they're not racist, or they just have like what I find it's like a lot of girls who don't grow up in cities or in Western cities. So like they grow up in like it's like a white girl who grows up in like some cow town. So she's never like met an Indian guy. And then she like meets an Indian guy. She's like, holy shit, who's this like exotic creature? And it's like Raj from India. She wants to bang Raj from India. Like I knew this one girl she specifically hooked up with like 5 different brown dudes who I know who are all like fans of my content, which I thought was crazy because I'm like this girl specifically has like a Indian PUA fetish, which is so strange, right? Like an Indian fuckboy fetish, right? And I just think it's really interesting. So anyway, it's like when someone asks me, what's your results in Toronto? Like anybody can get results anywhere as long as you like know how your photos work. But when it comes to actually testing photos and that kind of thing, there's something called market demographics where like, for example, my Tinder profile beforehand, I would get way less matches, maybe like 5% of the matches. But the retention rate, the amount of girls who want to go on dates with me, the amount of girls who want to like sleep with me was way the fuck higher because my profile said that I was a 5'10" male stripper, which by the way I'm not. I'm a 5'4" not male stripper, right? And it just said all this like random shit, or like I would just experiment with different profiles, right?
Did you ever find that when you would meet up with the girls, that like you'd say you're 5'10" and you're like a lot
never,
shorter?
not once, literally not once. I swear to God, not once.
It never backfired.
No, not once ever. Never.
Wow,
like,
I can believe that because I know I've done similar shit, but well, not with height, but other things. But that's fascinating.
My whole thing was like when I was in Mexico, I was saying I'm a male stripper just because like it was working really well, and it didn't really matter. Say again.
Stipero Muscalino.
Yeah, so I pretty much just wanted to like get girls in like I made my profile very fuckboy, like a bunch of shirtless pictures of me and girls, a bunch of club pictures of me and girls. And I got way less matches, but I was getting more engagement, if that makes sense. My engagement was way
that makes total sense. Actually, I used to before Tinder tightened down the rules on what you can and can't have. I used to have my regular profile and then a BDSM profile, which didn't have even a single picture of my face. It was just a shirtless picture and then BDSM memes and pictures of handcuffs and shit, and exactly what you're talking about was happening. So let's say I got like 20 matches a day on my regular profile. On the BDSM one, I would get 2 or 3 matches a day, right? So noticeably less. But I would get pretty much the same amount of dates from both apps. Like on the BDSM one, I would convert like almost 50% of the chicks I matched with.
Yeah,
like,
weird how it works, eh?
If they're going to match with that, like they're going to be more serious about meeting up. So I think that's like a big advantage of sexually screening. Like the girls you meet are going to be more serious about meeting like every time. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I will say location. So I agree with what you're saying. Demographics for sure. Also, location does play a big role. Like right now, I'm doing a Tinder experiment for my upcoming YouTube video where I'm testing my Tinder, my same exact profile for 24 hours, different cities around the world. So I tested various U.S. cities. In U.S. cities, I get about 25 matches a day, like numerous U.S. cities. In most European cities, I get 100 matches a day, right? So we're talking like four times as many matches.
There's a lot that goes into it as well, right? Because it depends on the size of the city. Like, are you testing like Oklahoma or are you testing New York?
No, I'm only testing big cities. All the cities I'm testing are
a big city. Like a big city in like Tennessee, you know, would be a completely different than a big city in like California. You know what I mean?
Right, so to give you an idea, I tested the two cities in the U.S. I tested was New York and Las Vegas. So
okay.
not small cities. Yeah.
Well, Vegas,
European cities, I tested Dublin.
New York has like 20 million people, so you're gonna get very different results based on like how many people are actually on Tinder in each city as well. It's just really interesting how it works.
Yes, there will be variants for sure, but generally speaking, like I've traveled all across the world. Like I'm pretty well traveled as well. Like I tell you, when I go to Colombia, man, like when I'm in Medellin, like I'm literally it sounds kind of like braggadocious, but I literally can barely beat the pussy off with a stick. Like I'm way overwhelmed with chicks. Way overwhelmed. Like it's to the point where I'm actively turning down girls because I just can't fuck anymore. Like I need a break.
You have to.
Dude, in America, it's very rare that I'm like turning down hotties. You know, it's just like
that's literally how it was in Mexico. It was literally like we're getting too many. Like again, my girlfriend's here. I don't want to say because it's just so like disgusting. But like,
are you in an open relationship or what's the deal with that?
Well, I mean, right now we're just in fucking hiding on the fucking beach. So literally, I'm not even going out. Literally, just locked in the hotel room with her. But like, we're not.
Is it really that serious, dude? Like, if you're in a different country, who gives a shit?
I don't know, man. So what happened was after the media scandal happened, they started posting it in France. Dude, it wasn't just Mexico. This like, I try to remember the blog. It was called like AJ or something like that. It's this huge like Facebook fucking page. They have it in every country. They started posting it in France. They posted it in Spain. Then they posted it in I think they posted Portuguese as well. And so I'm pretty much just like staying super low key. I'm not on Tinder. I'm not gaming right now. I'm just fucking staying super low key.
I don't think anyone's ever going to go up to you in real life, though. Like, especially if you're outside of Mexico. Like, most of these people are internet keyboard jockeys. But no one's going to confront you in real life. Like,
no, in Mexico, definitely it would happen. Like
maybe in Mexico, but outside of Mexico,
in Mexico, bro, you don't understand. I'm pretty sure we're both banned from. Like me and Brad are both banned from Mexico.
Do you officially get your visa revoked, or what makes you say that?
So pretty much, I saw an article saying they officially banned Brad from Mexico, but it didn't say they banned me. It said they tried to ban me, but I don't think it went through. So
is there any way you can find out? How do you find that out?
I have a lawyer in Mexico. So I actually knew a guy who's an immigration lawyer, and he's like, yo, if you ever need help in Mexico with immigration, let me know. And I'm like, why would I ever need – like why would a guy from North America, from like a Western city, ever need help getting into Mexico, immigration in Mexico? But turns out I do, right? And so he's got friends in the government, and he's looking into it for me, and he's like investigating things. I think I'm fine. Brad's definitely fucked. Brad definitely can't go back to Mexico.
So he's officially like they won't give like what they won't let him in the country.
I doubt it. I doubt he'll be able to go back unless he like paid money to the government and like bribed some people and shit.
It's crazy. I guess Julian got banned from Australia or something like that. So
I know Julian got banned from Australia, England, a bunch of other countries.
Dude, that's crazy. Some of these countries that let in like the biggest scumbags, like fucking war criminals, but they won't let in a guy who
I know
fuck some chicks on Tinder.
It's fucking insane. When you think about it, it's just like it's a mind fuck.
It really is a mind fuck. It's super sad, a reflection of like the society that we have now. But anyway, I could go on a whole rant about that, but let's just jump into the next question. How much do you edit your Tinder pictures, Photoshop, etc.?
Not too much. Usually I whiten my teeth and like a little bit. Here and there, it depends. I have some photos that are like insanely edited. You don't even look like me anymore. Like the color.
If you go to edited girls, that'll be a turn off. So yeah, I'm exactly the same way. I edit a little bit, but not too much. I find that like
it's subtle, right? Because if you edit it too much, you know what's funny? You know what's crazy? Before I would edit my photos, girls would message me and they would be like, "Your profile's fake. You're not a real person," because my photos were already really, really fucking good, right? But then after I started editing my photos, girls would stop accusing me of having a fake profile. But they're just But what I noticed always is girls were like really, especially in Mexico, they were just always terrified to meet me. Like they were just really scared to meet me because like
in every country, honestly, at least from my experience.
I guess it's like my profile is so optimized and it's some of the stripper and my bio is just really fucking good. And you know, we tested like the top bios, the top photos. Like it's like also like okay, think about this. I remade an account on Tinder in Mexico City, and in 20 hours. I got 600 matches and then I got banned. Okay, in 20 hours. That's fucking pretty crazy, right? That's 600 matches in 20 hours.
Did you find like an optimal opener when you were down there?
Yeah, so here, I'll read it out to you. Specifically, my opener in Mexico, it was super optimized. It had a probably almost like a 50%, 60% reply rate, and like to getting numbers, probably like 40 to 50%. Pretty good. Let me pull it up real quick. Because it was super like tweaked for Latin culture. It would say it was in Spanish too, which is why I had such a high response rate. But it would pretty much be like, "You're enchantingly beautiful. It's my day off work. I have a really nice apartment with my rooftop apartment in this location. It would be wonderful to have a drink with you, or we can meet to have a coffee nearby. Send me a text message to my WhatsApp," and then I give them my number, and then I say, "Or give me your WhatsApp. We should meet. Text me because I'm deleting this app soon. It's too annoying." And then maybe 1 in 10 girls would accuse me of it being a copy and paste. So then I had a response for that saying, "What? I literally just downloaded this app today, and you're one of the first girls I liked. I took all this time to write this just for you, sad face." And then no matter what they say after, I would always say the same thing. "I'm doing this app tonight. Send me a text message to my WhatsApp." And then on WhatsApp, I saved the number. Or on WhatsApp, I would send them a message saying, "Hey, it's Justin. Save my number. Give me a place today. Let's meet for a drink." It's always the same fucking thing. And using this system, we're pretty much farming numbers. We're pretty much like literally.
That's basically what you're doing. Yeah, you're farming numbers. It's not the worst approach if you have like a huge amount of matches. You just need to like you can afford to run massive volume. If you can afford to run massive volume,
we had all these fucking matches, and it's like, look, if we were to manually message, don't get me wrong. There's every now and then I would manually message the girls. I manually like talk to them, but it's just like it would be too much work. It would be way too much work. Can you get my laptop charger? Yes.
I know what you mean. We actually just did an experiment where we, so this is for another article we're writing. We tested 10 of the most popular openers on the internet and just some of our RPWF openers. So we tested, we messaged 15 girls. So we messaged hundreds of girls, but we each girl, 15, we used one opener on 15 girls and another opener on 15 girls. So we had some data. Could have been bigger, but I think it was okay. And this is what I'll give you guys a very early preview of the article that we're going to put out, I think, next week. So the opener that had 86% reply rate, 86% was, "Hey, her name, you know what's interesting about your pictures?" Now, fortunately, the downside with that is you then have to follow it up. So that one had a really high response rate because the girl's like, "Oh, what's interesting?" But unfortunately, then that kind of has potential to fizzle out because then you have to like kind of like almost like impress her or wow her. With that 80% reply rate was, "So I guess we're dating now." 80%. I don't think that would work in Latin America as well, but in America that was 80%. And then another 80% response rate opener was
high. Like an 80% response rate is just insanely high.
It's pretty good. And then 80% also we had for "Can I be honest?" And then usually we would follow that up with when the girl was like, "Yeah, sure," you would say, "You're just my type."
I found one that works really well as well. Is there was okay, so it really depends what city and what country you're in. One of my favorite in Western cities was "Let's break up," and then I'll have like a little role play about how we're breaking up and I'm keeping the dog and all this fun stuff. Like,
dude, I would say in Latin America, my favorite opener is "Hola Linda." I find that works super well. I have like I would say like a 3 out of 4 response rate to "Hola Linda." I have like a whole script that I follow when I'm in Latin America. I say "Hola Linda," and the girl says "Haha, hola," and then I say, "Do you speak tienes hablas inglés?" Then if she says, "Yeah, no, I don't speak English," I would say, "It's okay, I can always seduce you with my gringo español." If she says yes, that she does speak English, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I guess I don't have to seduce you with my gringo español." That's some variation of that, and that always just like gets her laughing, gets the conversation going in a flirty direction. I have a whole content update on that. All right, so let's jump into the next question. Justin, has it been harder to pull after the scandal? I guess you haven't really been trying, right?
No, I haven't tried at all, dude. I've been like scared, so I've been pretty much. But you know what? Brad has, and he's been pulling like crazy. But we're in a different country, in a different city.
I don't think it's going to affect you positively or negatively. I just think most girls are not going to know, like at least until they Google you. But they're just not going to know. Like
the thing is, when you go when you Google me, you don't even find the articles. You only find it when you Google Brad, and it's like you have to have it specifically like you'd have to like specifically be like in Latin America for the Google results to even show up. So you don't have to worry. Like we don't have to worry about it. I'm not worried about it at all. Like I don't think
there's anything to worry about. Dude, I when the Vice thing happened, I was also worried. I was like, oh shit, this is gonna fuck up my dating history. Like girls are gonna be sketched out to meet with me. Like literally had no effect. So yeah, we tend to like assume the worst, but in reality,
Of course, like, I'm not scared. Look, here's the thing: I'm not scared of like some girl knowing me or whatever the fuck. I just don't really see a point of downloading Tinder, having to like reset my phone, do all these things to reset my device ID so I can get unbanned from Tinder because my Tinder account's banned, right?
Yeah.
So I have to go through all these fucking hoops and then like re-fucking download Tinder and then do all this fucking shit. And like, you know, I've got a fucking hot girlfriend I'm like traveling with right now. I'm kind of like staying low key right now, just trying to focus on business.
Yeah, dude, I get it. I get it.
I also feel that, you know, when you're gaming and you're in this active like, you know, like chasing chicks mode, it gets really difficult to focus on business.
Yes.
Is like it's the time I kind of need to focus on business, especially with this whole thing going on. You know what I mean? I have so much shit I have to do, and I've just been pushing it off just because I don't have my social medias. It's been pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. It's very easy to fall down to the trap because you know, obviously it's not like you can be like, okay, I'm gonna make plans with one chick at 8 o'clock. She's gonna show up on time, and then by 9:30 I'm gonna be doing work. No, what you have to do is you have to make plans with like 3-4 girls, different times. They're all running late, so the whole evening is just spent on fucking girls and like coordinating and last minute logistics. And yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And then no work gets done. So I've been down that path many times myself. All right, so let's touch on this question. Can you touch on LMR and how to set up another date after the girl left your house and you weren't too pushy but didn't close?
Now, if I'm being honest, like especially because I love Latin America and I've been like living in these like countries for a while, but you know, almost anywhere I go, being physical is just part of who I am. Like, and I'm like that with guys and girls. Like if I'm with one of my bros, I'm always like, you know, slapping them on the back. You know, I'm very like frat boy.
Well, hopefully you're not fully closing your bros.
Yeah, well, of course. Like you're not pulling your boys. You know what I mean? But so when you're with
2
girls,
minutes, bro. 2 minutes. Just after party.
I feel like when you're with girls, if you're not like touching them in a man to woman type way, you're never gonna have any sort of kind of connection. You know what I mean? Now, a majority of my pulls, I'll be honest, dude, I'm quick. It's because okay, here if I were to break down how I pull, it's because I'm feeling fucking like masculine, horny, and dominant, and I make the girl feel the same way because people tend to feel what you're feeling, right? Like if you're feeling good vibes, people feel good vibes around you, right? So if you're feeling like horny and you're expressing that through like dominant, confident demeanor, the girls are gonna feel that around you as well. And so I don't really get LMR, like almost never. Like I probably get like 1 in like 20 girls to hang out with. You know what I mean? And
really?
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean,
even I get LMR.
Say again?
Even I get LMR. Not with every chick.
Here's the thing. I don't just meet up with girls. Like I'm very careful who I meet up with. Like I only meet up with girls.
Okay, you're screening a lot, right?
I do a lot of pre-framing type stuff before I meet up with a girl.
That explains that. Yeah. You're screening more aggressively.
It's not. I wouldn't even consider it screening. It's just like very intensive pre-framing where before I meet up with a girl, I'm framing myself as this like YouTube influencer guy or this like world. It depends on the type of vibe I'm going for and where I met them. Like if I met them from Daygame, usually if I'm meeting a girl from Daygame, it's because I'm filming content, right? So I met my girlfriend from Daygame, and so when I met up with her, I sent her a voice message saying, "Hey, I'm gonna shoot some content later tonight. Do you want to come over for a drink? We could chill by my pool and we could shoot some content for TikTok, right?" And so the reason I said that was because she was a TikToker and she does like TikTok videos, and I figured it was like an incentive to get her over because she's thinking, oh shit, you know, I'll get like more followers if I hang out with this guy, right? Or if it's a girl from Tinder, I won't tell them I do social media content. I'll just tell them I'm like a stripper, a model, or a business owner or something like that. So I do a lot of like pre-framing before I meet up with them to make myself seem very high value and very busy. So it's kind of like, don't waste my time. So that way, because I fucking hate when girls show up late, dude. I literally get fucking like actually angry. You know what I mean? And I know it's like girls will be girls, right? But it's like, I just don't want to deal with that type of thing. So not only I'll set up like 3 dates at the same time, but I have like a good equilibrium. It's what I call the pull triangle. It's pretty much like logistics, comfort, and intent. It's like a girl who's most attracted to you with the best logistics. That's kind of what I go for. And so I'll set up multiple options, and I'll always go for the girl who's the most like pretty much DTF, with the best logistics. Does that kind of make sense to you? So I'm always going for the girls who are already most DTF. I'm not really trying to go for the girls who are, I've got to like game them and all this shit. Because I don't want to waste fucking time, man. You know what I mean? Life is short. Does that make sense? Sure.
Yeah, it makes sense. So here's my answer to this question. So first of all, before I say this, I want to preface this by saying, because we're talking about LMR, you should never do anything that makes a girl feel uncomfortable or pressured or anything like that.
100%.
So none of this is an excuse to do something that's fucked up, ethical and legal reasons. That aside, so my general philosophy on LMR is that I'm not pushy on dates, but I am very persistent. Like I'll try 10, 20, 30 times. Like I'll just keep trying, and not like right away. Like, okay, a chick gives me a little MR, pull back a little, chill out, and I try again. And again. My whole thing is that if you don't close on the first date, really the only way you're going to see that girl again is if there was a legitimate reason why you could close. So, for example, here's an example. The girl who I'm seeing right now, right? So our first date, met at a bar. It wasn't like pre-screened or anything. Like met at a bar, pulled her back to my place. We're making out, and then I try to go for sex, and then she keeps stopping. She's like, "No, Alex, I want to, but I'm on my period. I'm on my period. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't care about that. Like, honestly, babe, it doesn't matter. Whatever. We'll pull the towel down." And that was just like, she's like, "No, like I've never had sex on my period. I find it so gross. No, we can't. So there was like a legitimate reason why we couldn't have sex. So then when I met with her, but then it wasn't like sex didn't happen just because she had doubts. It was like there was some specific obstacle. So if that's the case, then you have a pretty good shot of seeing the girl again. If sex doesn't happen just because, you should know why sex didn't happen. If sex didn't happen because, I don't know, you're very unlikely to see the girl again. So there should be a clear reason. So yeah, I'm a big proponent of being persistent. Obviously, as long as you don't make the girl feel comfortable. Honestly, chicks also like a guy who's persistent. Like chicks get turned on by a guy who's persistent. Like chicks don't like a guy who just gives up at the first sign of when things aren't going well for him and just like it's like, oh, okay, just hangs his head in shame. So that's my take on that. Okay, let's jump into the next question because we had so many. How do you respond when a girl says, "I'm not on here much"? Would you be appropriate to number close? I feel like some girls just use that to justify ignoring you. Personally, I would respond with, hopefully you make up for it in real life or something like that, or I'm sure you make up for it in real life, something along the lines of that. And if she says yes, then you just move it over to, and when she says, "Yeah, haha, I do," and you say, "Good. Text me, shoot me your number, or text me, and blah, blah, blah." So that's kind of how I would approach it. What would you do?
So if a girl says that, I feel like it's almost an indicator to like get her number and jump on getting that answering off the platform. Because when a girl's like, "Look, I'm not on Tinder much," it's like she's literally telling you have like this small window of opportunity to get her contact. And what's cool about that as well is like if a girl says she's not on Tinder much, there's a good chance you just downloaded Tinder or some sort of dating app, right? Bumble, Tinder, Hinge, one of these apps. And it's cool about that, I find, is if you're like one of the first matches or the first guy that a girl meets up with from online dating, man, you are going to get like that's usually when you get the hottest girls, and that's usually when you can like build a dynamic really quickly. Because
I so agree with that.
Right? Tinder, man.
You don't want like the seasoned veterans, the chicks who've been on 100 dates. You don't want that. You want the girls who just popped on. 100% agree.
Like just downloaded Tinder for the first time because she broke with the boy.
Yes. So true.
So yeah, get her number and pass off the board, Instagram, whatever. So it depends what city I'm in. Because if I'm in like a Western city, I'll usually get their Instagram. But if I'm in like a third world country, for some reason, girls love using WhatsApp in places like anywhere outside of like America. By the way, Alex, you live in Miami, right?
Yeah, I live in Miami.
Do people use WhatsApp a lot in Miami?
Yes, because it's very international.
Okay, got it. Because
like 80% of people in Miami weren't born here. Like they came from Latin America.
Toronto, right? No one uses WhatsApp. It's fucking weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah. WhatsApp is like super big outside of America. Honestly, like if you're in a different country, I don't even say, "Give me your number," because some chicks get worried about like long distance calls. I just say, "Give me your WhatsApp." Same exact thing, but it works differently.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. So Justin, you look great without the nose job. You had a nose job?
Yeah, I got a nose job like 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
it was
damn.
really cool. So here's what happened, okay? My girlfriend's an actress. she has a nose job. All her friends have nose jobs. And I actually, like, for a while, I've been thinking of getting into, like, film and television because I have a lot of friends who are influencers. My buddy Luis Mercado, he has a show called To Catch a Cheater on YouTube. And he told me, you know, you should get into acting. A lot of my friends have been like, dude, you'd be like perfect for acting. So I pretty much saw it as like a prerequisite to get into acting and influencer type content because, you know, with this whole like media scandal thing is happening, I kind of, you know, knew this was going to happen in a weird way. I've been like feeling like, look, I need to position something or at least keep my options open. And I was laying in bed this one day. My girlfriend, she was at she's an actress, right? She was at an acting, what the fuck do you call it? Valentina, what do you call that? Like a acting, not an audition. She was like actually filming for a TV show. She was filming for a TV show this 1 week. So I'm just laying in bed and I'm like, you know what? I'm doing a fucking nose job. And so I DM'd this surgeon on Instagram. I just searched up like nose surgeon in Mexico City. I just DM'd her and I'm like, look, I'll get a nose job. If you could do it tomorrow, I'll pay it outright. Just
how much does it cost in Mexico? Like 100 pesos?
It was like $1,000 US. I think it was like 900 US.
Still a good deal.
I was like, look, for $1,000 US, you can literally permanently make yourself look better for the rest of your fucking life. Funny enough, I remember about a year ago, my buddy, he got a nose job, and I was giving him shit for it. I was like super against it. I was like, dude, why do you need to get a nose job? Like, at the end of the day, man, I think your game is really all that matters. And that's what gets the girl. That's what makes the girls want to date you. That's what makes the girls attracted to you. That's what makes the girls feel like that instinctual feeling to like jump on you, right? But in my head, like for me, it wasn't really necessary to get more girls. For me, it was like more of a career move. But if you could make yourself like 5% more attractive, or if you could like optimize your business by 5%, if you could do these things that make your life a little bit better, why the fuck wouldn't you? That's kind of my mindset. And I kind of did it like impulsively.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, they're both important, so they're not mutually exclusive by any sense. So your sexual market value is what gives you opportunities. Game is what allows you to convert those opportunities 100%. Into hookups, into relationships. But they're both extremely necessary part of.
I couldn't agree more. So the way you look, your status, you know, how much financial authority you have, the money in your bank, that allows you these experiences for sure. But you know, definitely like looks gets you in the door. But I mean, dude. Not to like hype myself up. I wasn't a bad looking guy beforehand. Like I'm pretty lucky. I wasn't like physically deformed. Like I was short, but I find most girls don't really care about my height. Like most of the girls I dated have been taller than me because I'm 5'4". It's 160 centimeters, something like that. So most girls.
There are some girls who legitimately care and they won't go out with you, and there's some girls who don't care that much. So you're getting just like there's some girls who are not into white guys. Like there's some girls who I won't get. So they're only into black guys.
100%. I found the percentage is very small in comparison to what you think it would be. You know what I mean?
Well, that's good to hear. I think that's going to be motivational, inspiring for a lot of guys who are watching this. You know, because height is one of the few things that you can't really do much. Like, you know, with your nose, if your nose fucked up, you get a nose job. If you're fat, you can get skinny, but height you can't really change. So that's definitely, I think, going to be good for a lot of guys to hear. Yo, let me ask you this random question: do you have any breathing problems now after you got the nose job?
Yeah. So, like, I can't breathe. Like, I can't fucking breathe. So, dude, here's the thing: I knew nothing about surgery. I knew nothing about plastic surgery. I did zero research before going into it. Okay. Yeah. I kind of like just did it impulsively, almost like impulsively getting a tattoo. Kind of like I was bored and I was kind of like, it's so cheap here. If I don't do it now, I probably never fucking will in my whole life. Cause you know, it's like almost free. You know what I mean? And so I just did it like off, you know, just randomly as fuck. And when in the surgery, there's like blood everywhere and I'm like high as fuck. They sedated me and I'm like, wait, blood? Like, it didn't occur to me that they're like cutting my nose open.
Dude, it's some good shit.
I had no idea what a nose job entailed. I thought they just like put something in my nose or something. I didn't know.
They're just casually just moving like.
Dude, nose bleeding crazy for like 4 days.
They're using like a mallet and a hammer. You went under general anesthesia, right?
Yeah. So I wasn't like asleep. I was like awake, but like I didn't feel the pain. And every 15 minutes, I'd have to change my bandages because I was just pouring blood. It was fucked up. I couldn't breathe. I had to breathe through my mouth. It was horrible. I was kind of like,
literally rearrange your bones. Believe it or not, I had a nose job. So when I was 16, I broke my nose against. Yeah, when I was 16, I broke my nose against the bench. It was even more crooked than it is now. believe it or
Damn.
not. So I completely fucked up my nose. And it was like kind of mandatory. Like when I went to the doctor and he was like, yeah. He's like, if you don't do this, he's like, I wasn't going to die or anything. He's like, but he's like, you're going to have to live like that for the rest of your life. Maybe it was part of the sales pitch. I don't know. He's like,
your nose maybe like the rest of your life.
He also promised me that he was going to be able to get 100% straight. It wasn't until after the operation I found out that there's this thing called scar tissue, which will pull you one way or another. So it was straight for like a few months, and then it just slowly started moving sideways. But dude, I will never go through that again. I had over a year of breathing problems, dude. Not to scare you or anything, but I was like fucking. It was miserable just having constant dry nose. I fucking hated that.
Dude, it's horrible. Even right now, it's been like almost 3 weeks. I can barely breathe. It's just.
Are you using those moisturizing sprays?
I used it a little bit. I'm probably gonna buy some more because I'm realizing now.
Those things are a lifesaver, man. That's gonna be your best friend for the next few months.
Yeah, I hope so. Fuck, because like I literally like I breathe through my mouth. It's horrible.
Yeah, dude, you get super nose. We'll talk off camera about that. I have a few more recommendations. All right, so I don't want this whole podcast just to be on like nose maintenance. Alex, how to respond when a chick says, "I'd rather do a normal day before I come to your house"? I say, "That's cool," and I just meet her at a public bar nearby. I would say, "That's cool. We can meet at a bar nearby first." I like to throw the word in there first to imply that I'm going to be pulling her back to my place. So I'm cool with that, especially if the chick is attractive, which seems cool. But when I was, again, to kind of go back to what I was saying earlier, when I was in Colombia, I wasn't even doing public dates because I had so many chicks that I was talking to. Even if 25% of them were down to come straight over, there's still more chicks than I can handle. If I'm talking to, if I have 20 chicks who are down to hang out with me any given day, and let's say even 20% of them are down to come straight over, 80% want to be at a bar nearby. That's still fucking like 4 chicks. Like I can't fuck that many chicks in a day, So yeah.
It's crazy the time constraints with meeting girls. It's like you meet up, you have to hang out for like 30, 40 minutes or an hour before you pull and all that fun stuff. And then it's just like there's not enough time in the day to actually hang out with that many girls. The only way to hook up with like many girls in a day, I found, is throwing parties. It's like really the only way. Or going to like swingers clubs. So you have 2 options, like throwing parties or going to swingers clubs.
Have you ever been to one of those?
Of course, dude, like at least 100 times.
Yeah, I've been 2 or 3 times, but yeah, it's funny. Not really my scene personally, but yeah.
Literally every single week, like once a week.
You ever fuck a dude's wife while he like watches in the corner?
Yes.
Yeah, I've done that. Like the husband's like, "Oh, you're a good-looking, strapping white man. Have your way with my wife while I creepily watch in the corner and videotape."
It's some weird shit. I'm not gonna lie. It's weird shit.
Mid-20s, good times. Okay, so what percentage of matches would you say convert? I kind of hate this question because it just depends on where I am, what app we're talking about. If we're talking about Tinder and Bumble, we're going to have totally different conversion ratios. But I just recently put out a video on this. What kind of results should you expect as an expert on Tinder? And so in that experiment, it was something like if a girl responds to my opener and logistics line up, it's something like 5% or 10% or something like that.
Yeah, it's all about logistics. Let me think about it. So I know in Mexico I got about I can't remember.
It's a tough question because there's so many factors.
I probably had about 5,000 matches total in Mexico in the course of 6 months. And then I got about 1,000 numbers from that. Converted maybe what's a conversion? Like a date?
No, like a hookup, I think.
Like between 30 to 40 conversions over a course of like.
Out of how many numbers?
About 1,000 numbers.
So that we're talking like.
It's super low. It's like 3%.
3 or 4%, which I think is actually that makes sense. Like some guys might think that's low. I think that's
so normal. Mexico was really hard with coronavirus. It's fucking shut down like it's super shut down. Like there was nothing open. There's no like for the longest time there's like no bars, clubs open, and girls were insanely flaky. Because here's the thing: my first week in Mexico, there was 9 conversions in 1 week, and that was from like 100 matches.
I like this word we're using now, conversions. Yo, I had the sick conversion last night. You should have seen the ass on my conversion.
My
conversion.
Again, it's like my girlfriend's here, right? But 9 conversions from about 100
my
matches.
long-term conversion,
which would be that's almost 10% in conversion rate. And I'm not talking about getting girls' numbers and shit. That's like like 10% like late rate, which is fucking really good my first week. But then things completely changed. Coronavirus completely fucked shit up there. It was really hard until like we had a lot of numbers, right?
I like how you said that, because that's definitely true. Like when I hear like experts saying that, oh yeah, you get like 80 or 90% chicks that you talk to, is such bullshit. You're not even gonna hit 20%. Like anyone who's promising you 30, 40, 50%, that other chicks that you match you're gonna fuck. Some guys are promising like 90%.
Possible.
Straight up lying to you.
Unless you're getting a really low amount of matches, and like they're all like uglies or whatever. But
but still not gonna be 90%. Even
before coronavirus, it was probably like almost 10% conversion rate, maybe like 8 or 9%. But then after coronavirus, it goes down to like out of 5,000 matches, it's like less than 1%, right? Because
9 or 10% is actually very solid. Like that's good. Like if you can hit that, that's good. Here's why I don't like this question, because I feel like it's deceiving. So let's take an example. Let's take a guy who has this magical 50% conversion ratio. Out of the chicks he matches, that's like too unrealistic. Let's say 1 out of 4, like 25% conversion rate, which will never happen. So this guy, for every 4 matches he gets, he hooks up with one of the girls. Let's say he only gets 2 matches a day, right? So that means a girl every other day. Let's take another guy. Say this guy has a 5% conversion rate, but he gets 100 matches a day. That guy's going to get more girls, even though his conversion rate is low. So it's just an irrelevant question. It really comes down to the quality of the girls you're hooking up with, the frequency, and just how happy you are, whether you have the sex life you want. Your exact conversion ratios.
I think it comes down to like your own unique individual goals and that kind of thing as well. Because like, here's the thing: the whole time I was in Mexico, man, if I'm gonna be honest, I was like subconsciously, I was looking for a girlfriend. Like I wanted a girlfriend. Like I kind of didn't even want to be on Tinder. Like coronavirus, like kind of like just killed my vibe, and I kind of want to just like.
How did you meet your current girlfriend? Was it Tinder?
I met her from Daygame, cold approach.
What is that?
Say again.
I was saying.
Okay.
I've never heard of this. You talk to girls in real life. Sounds weird, man. All right. So this is a good question for you. Opinions on open relationships.
I've actually, majority of my relationships I've ever had at some point were open or something like that. But right now, my relationship's not an open relationship because my girl doesn't want it, right? So like she doesn't want it. She's super old school, traditional, and that's cool. Like I'm totally cool with that too. With her specifically, because like I wouldn't want my girl fucking other guys. You know what I mean? When I'm really invested in a girl, I get really jealous, really fucking jealous, which I think is pretty normal. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty normal as a guy to get jealous thinking about like.
If you're cool with your girlfriend fucking a bunch of guys, then there's something off about you.
Yeah.
You're not being free from outcome. You're just being a cuck.
I know, dude. It's horrible. But yeah. So it's like. I don't know. Like I like open relationships, but it depends on the girl, and it depends on how invested you are in her, or it depends on the dynamic. I've had relationships where it's not open; we just have threesomes together, or I have like freedom to do whatever I want, date whoever I want. The girl doesn't. I've had all these different experiences, but right now the relationship I'm in, I'm not dating other girls.
I think open relationships are a little bit overrated and they're not sustainable long term. My first girlfriend ever.
That's the problem. That's the problem. They can't be sustainable. Again, sorry not to cut you off, bro, but. It's like the sustainability. It's like at some point,
resentment starts to come into the picture. So she hooks up. So say you hook up with 2 girls, but she only hooks up with 1 guy. She feels resentful towards you because you're having more sex. It's just like all this. Or she hooks up with a guy that looks kind of like you. Now you start being resentful toward. Like there's so many. That's what happened in my first relationship. It was like we were both like very open minded and shit. Like this when I was like 9. This is when I was like 21. But like it just slowly resentment started to pile in, and sometimes I would hook up with a girl and I would tell her about it, and I felt like she would do these revenge fucks where she felt like she had to go out to like even the score. So
if I need a girl, so I didn't mean you off. You get me all emotional telling these stories because it's like holy shit, I wouldn't be dating a girl like that. Like if my girlfriend needed to like fuck other guys to get back at me, I would just drop her.
Yeah, but it is again the open when you're in an open relationship, you don't have that much of a leg to stand on. Like personally, I can tell you that like I like to either do like have booty calls, so just girls who I'm seeing regularly, hooking up with, hanging out with. Sometimes I'll even introduce them to like my family, my friends, but I'm not actually in any kind of relationship with them, any kind of exclusive relationship. Or the other thing that I'll do is if I'm really serious about a girl, I really like her, then I'll actually try to date her for real. But like this weird in between, I just find is not really that good.
I've had too many bad experiences with it that I've realized, you know what? I need to like just try exactly what you said. It's either like be single and have fun and like crazy party adventures, or have a girlfriend. But I find, you know, doing the open relationship thing, it's not a long-term sustainable strategy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can have most of the same stuff you would with your girlfriend with a booty call. Like, dude, like me and my booty call will like we'll go to events, we'll like hang out, we'll like fucking, you know, we like get pretty much. She gives massages, she'll cook dinner. Like there's most of the same benefits, right? Except for the, you know, and with girls, my literal policy is don't ask, don't tell. So I won't talk to her about any of the girls that I hook up with, and I just don't ask her. Like I don't want to know.
Though, man.
Like that.
When you got a friends and benefits booty call type girl, you don't have that same type of emotional connection you have as when you have like a girlfriend that you're really deep and intimate with. 100%. And so it's like you can't really have both, because even if you do have an open relationship, or even if you have a girlfriend you have threesomes with, she'll still get jealous. She'll still get really, really jealous. Like one of my homies right now, he's still in Mexico. He was actually living with me and Brad, and he has a girlfriend, and they have threesomes like fucking every night. Okay? But the problem is she still gets jealous about it. She still gets like crazy jealous about it. Right?
Yeah.
And so like long term, it won't work. It could work for a few months, it could work for a few years even. But long term, it's like kind of risky.
Well said, sir. I agree with you. I'm gonna salute with my water. Yeah, man. Yeah, there's so many stories of like a couple having a threesome, and then the girl leaves the guy for the guy that had a threesome with, or the guy leaves the girl. So many of those stories, like a threesome happens, and then like that's the relationship killer. So yeah, like threesomes are great, like absolutely, but I would almost rather do that with like my booty call, like a chick who I'm just hooking up with, rather than like a serious girlfriend.
100%, bro. 100%. Well, imagine this, right? Like, imagine you have this like beautiful girlfriend you're super in love with, you like adore her, and one day she's like, Alex, I want you to watch
fucked by it.
A big black guy.
I'm gonna get fucked by this Indian pickup artist. I'm really turned on. Yeah. And I'm gonna have this Australian guy like tag team me as well. All right. Is it useful to disable Tinder visibility? Show me on Tinder if you know you're gonna be lazy without swiping for a while. Disable. I don't really see the advantage of that. I mean, if you disable your Tinder visibility, then you're not gonna get any matches. I would just let it sit. So your ELO score doesn't go down for being inactive. I see your argument, and probably will go down a little bit, but then when you get back on, it'll recalibrate. Like I'll go through periods sometimes where I don't use an app for a while, and I'll go back on and quickly recalibrate. So I wouldn't really worry about any of that.
I wouldn't be worried about that at all, because I've tested that. I've tested it, and
what were your results?
I didn't find that there was. I mean, here's the thing. I've tested it. It's not really like. You can't. The only way to truly test it would be like have like 10 different Tinder accounts and not use some of them. But I found that I didn't use a Tinder account for like 6 months. I use it and I get like 100 matches. I use a boost to get 100 matches, right? So I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think disabling your Tinder visibility. Like, I mean, it's up to you. I think it's better to just reset your account. Just do like a hard reset to reset your entire account.
Yes, you gotta be careful with those, because there's so many stories of people getting shadow banned for doing frequent resets. So you have to use those sparingly.
Pretty much, Bradicus has figured out a way to like ensure that no matter what happens, like whenever you reset, you're good. But like pretty much just buy a new phone. Like if you ever fuck with Tinder, just buy a cheap $100 Android phone, $100 for like unlimited amounts of hot girls. I think it's worth it. You know what I mean?
All right, so jump into the next question. What do you do if you soft close twice and both times she liked your message but won't agree to hard? Okay, so I would call it out. So you can either say 2020 where liking a message counts as a response. You can go about that way, or you can just be like, is that your casual way of saying yes, or like just call it out. Like don't change the topic. Like just address the elephant in the room.
Dude, I hate that when girls are like, yeah, let's meet up. You're like, hey, yeah, we should definitely meet for a drink. And then you like hit up, be like, cool, does this time work? And then she just doesn't reply. I'm like, wait, what? So I like to use voice messages to counter that, because when you use voice messages, it actually comes out like in the girl's head, it's as if she's on the phone, right? And so to her, it feels like you're actually like having a conversation.
You feel more of a real person in her mind.
Yeah, it bypasses a lot of those issues.
Yeah. Here's something very interesting I discovered actually a few months ago. So you ever have chicks who just like your message? It's fucking annoying, right? Like you're asking,
like they don't reply, but they like your message.
Yeah, they just like your message. It's not something that happens on WhatsApp. It's more of like an iMessage thing. So I had a few chicks do it to me, and it like annoyed me, right? So I was like, wait a second. What if I try the reverse? What if like when a chick gives me some low investment response, I just like her message? Will she double text me? Dude, the data on this was crazy. Like literally, I would say like 3 out of 4 times when a chick, like say I'm like trying to like, whatever, I'm trying to like talk to a girl and she's being like a little flaky or low investment. I just like her last message. And dude, they almost always double text you, almost always within an hour or within a day. And I find that really works well in like just getting investment from chicks.
It's what I found as well. That works too, where it's like the same way she's like the same frame she's trying to put you in, put her in that frame as well.
Yes.
But I find a lot of it happens in the pre-framing. Like every girl is going to have an idea of who you are in her head, regardless of if she's met you or not. Okay.
Feels like a rough picture, and then you're molding the picture.
I like to like way higher fucking status than the girl. Like I almost like to make the girls feel like I'm like cooler than her, more successful than her. She'd be lucky to even like that I'm even fucking texting her.
What's your approach for doing that without coming off as like braggadocious or try hard?
Well, look, okay, so I do something called humble bragging, okay? And I learned this from one of my friends who's like a multi-millionaire. So this dude's like super loaded, kills with girls, just really successful, well put together guy. But what he'll do is he'll like almost brag as if he's not bragging, if that makes sense. Okay? So he will.
Can you give an example?
He'll pretty much like.
I personally know exactly what you're talking about, but I want to hear your take on
it. Do it, but I want to more so give an example of how I would do it. So how I would do it is be like, oh, I kind of make like YouTube content, like dumb YouTube content with my friends. I kind of make these dumb videos where I travel around the world and make videos with my friends. But now think about this. While I'm saying that, I'm saying I'm making these dumb videos. I'm like kind of like brushing off, like I make these stupid videos where I travel around the world with my friends. Now look, if I travel around the world with my friends making these stupid videos, that means I must have a lot of money in order to be able to afford traveling around the world. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. Yeah. So you're basically doing it almost the same way I am. So for example, say I want to DHV myself in a conversation, right? I'm not going to just say, okay, what are 2 big quick things about me? Well, I live in a building that has a jacuzzi, which implies I have money, that I have, whatever status, whatever, and I have a really adorable dog, right? But I'm not going to say, hey, by the way, I have a cute dog in the jacuzzi. So what I will do is I'll kind of beat her. So I'll say, hey, how's your Sunday fun day going? She'll say, oh, pretty good. How about you? Then I can just slowly slip it in. Good, just hanging out with this guy. And I send her a cute picture of my dog. Or good, just relaxing in the jacuzzi. And there's like a nice jacuzzi pic. Or something like that. So there's ways to slip it in.
Yeah, the subtle ones are really good too.
That's how you gotta do it. Because if you're outright about it, it comes off. It's low. So high value to DHV yourself, a low value to be bragging or just make it seem like you're trying hard. This is so funny, dude. We just got to the part where I said starting in 2 minutes. How are you on time, Justin? How long do you have?
I'm good. I mean, I gotta go grab like dinner at some point, but like it's not a big deal. We can chat for whatever.
Yeah, man, let's keep going because we got so many questions. We literally just got to the part where I announced at 9:03 that we're going to start in 2 minutes. What European country would you say is the easiest to game in? I haven't been to every country, so I can't say that for sure. But out of the places I've been, which is only maybe 10 to 20% of Europe, Warsaw, Poland was the easiest, simply because of the quality I was getting there. But there's so many cities I haven't been in, so I can't say for sure.
A lot of amazing places in Europe, man. So there's like 50 countries in Europe. I think I've been to like 20 of them.
What's your favorite?
I found was Barcelona was like by far the fucking hardest city. But probably the easiest would either be like Budapest, Hungary.
Okay.
I would say Krakow, Poland was probably one of the most interesting ones because it's like a party city, man. But
it's also a college city.
Yeah, but that'd probably be outside of coronavirus because this was a few years ago. Yeah. And then maybe if you're a brown guy, I found when I was in Finland, I was getting like, dude, it's as if like they've never seen an Indian guy before because like the girls.
There's really not many Indian guys in Finland.
I was getting approached by girls. I had girls approaching me, hitting on me in Finland, which is fucking crazy.
Namaste. Like they just come up to you. They're like, namaste. Dude, yeah, all the places you said are solid. I've been to Finland, I've been to Hungary, I've never been to Krakow, but I've been to other parts of Poland. All great places. All would be top of my list. You know what my least favorite place I've been to in Europe? Fucking Romania. That place sucks.
I never been to Romania. Oh, it's
No
bad?
offense to any Romanians. Well, okay, to be fair, I went to the wrong part of Romania. So I went to Bucharest, which is the capital. But apparently in the summer, I later found out, everyone goes to Cluj or by the sea. So like all the like hip young people had already left the city because it was the summer. It's really hot there. So part of that was just like poor information on my part. Maybe if I went to Cluj, I would have had a different experience. But yeah, it was miserable, dude. Like you're fucking walking around Romania, like every single AC is broken. You're getting like AC jizz on your head. It's like 100 degrees. Like it's like no chicks. It's just a miserable experience.
That's crazy.
But the food was good. Alex, have you ever experimented with a direct approach and just say, "Hey, baby, come on over here, we'll have fun," and try to avoid all the back and forth? Yes, I have, but I don't do it like that. I've tried with, "Hey, can I be honest?" And the girl says, "Sure," and I'll say, "You look like you have a great pussy to eat out." Right, just super direct. So I don't like to go, and I've tried with like the apocalypse opener.
I've literally done in-person apocalypse openers, and it's worked. Like it's great, like it's scary, but you got to really feel out the type of person you're talking to, like the type of girl you're talking to, because like it's not gonna work on like the highest quality girls. Like if you walk up to like your absolute. So I do a lot of soul server game, like bottle service type shit, because like I've been a top club promoter in my city where I'm from for like 6-7 years, and I found that.
All that.
Say again.
How did you get into all that?
I literally started out. It was kind of an accident. I was just bringing a lot of girls to the club because I just wanted to party with hot girls, and these guys started paying me. They're like, "Yo, look, we're just gonna pay you for everyone you bring to the club," and they pretty much told me like, unless you bring people and get paid, we're not gonna let you in the club. So I was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" So they were like forcing me into like working for them, and then as time went on, say again.
This was in Toronto.
Yeah, it's in Toronto, and then I started making money from it, and then next thing you know, a few years later, I'm working for like the #1 club in Canada, doing like VIP guest lists, selling tables, doing all that like fun like Vegas promoter type shit. The same thing like promoters do that live in Miami. I was doing at my club in Toronto, right? And it wasn't really for the money, because the money's like, it's okay, it's not bad. You can live off it for sure. When I was in college, I was living off the money. Like I didn't really need anything else. It was cool. Like I would throw a party once a week. It was more than enough to live off of, and live really fucking well. It was insane. But the money's like peanuts in comparison to like what else is out there. But the experiences are fucking unreal, dude. Like I literally get paid to host celebrities. I get to like share tables with like fucking like Lil Jon, Sean Paul, like a lot of like celebrities come like share like party with us. It's fucking crazy. And then like, I get to all these like events for free. It's really fucking dope.
If you got hot girls, cool guys will come to you. Were you able to bang a lot of chicks as a result of that?
Dude, insane. Like fucking insane. So in Toronto, when I'm in Toronto, I average, and this is tested, 15 new lays per month off a cold approach. Last year, in about 4 months, I was in Toronto. It was about, I think it was like 63 girls or something like that. 4 months.
When you say cold approach, are you including like your promoter game in that, or are you talking about people?
Yes, but that's because it's all cold approach. Like I cold approach girls. I'm like, "What's up?" Like I'm a promoter, come hang out with me, come party with me. But it's just a cold approach where I'm like chatting with someone, and then I mention, "Hey, look, I'm a promoter," right?
How much easier would you say it is to get laid, like if you got that club status with like the promoter game versus just pure cold approach?
I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure, because I mean I do get really good results regardless. In other cities where I have no sort of status, you know what I mean? And I get I'd say about the same results in any city I go to. But I don't know, man. I think Toronto, it's just fun. Like for me, it's not even necessarily about the girl. It's just a lot of fucking fun. The fact that like I'm getting paid to be in a table with just me and like 30 hot girls, like $1,000 in free alcohol, just going crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely not the worst job ever. Do you mostly do day game or night game? Like what do you mostly do?
So again, depends what city I'm in. I met my girlfriend from Daygame in Mexico. I haven't done any night game in Mexico, but in Toronto, I only do night game, right? I almost do no day game. And I mean, what I do, I've pulled from it. Like I've gone to the mall and like pulled like many times. But the problem is like, since I do so much night game, I'm sleeping till like fucking 5 p.m., wake up, hit the gym, and go to the club, right? So I'm like on the night shift because I'm at the club till like 4 or 5 a.m. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I find that in Latin America, this is just my experience. I could, could be biased, but I find that in Latin America, actually, day game is better than night game because night game, you have a lot of prostitutes, you have a lot of issues. In Latin America, it's very common for a girl to go out with like 20 other chicks.
I think it depends what city. Depends what city you're in.
Maybe. I'm only talking about Colombia because that's really the only Latin American country I've been in. But I found in Colombia, day game definitely wins out over night game.
But I've heard Medellin is like amazing for day game. I've heard Medellin's like really, really good for day game.
It's not. Yeah, it's good. It's not as good as like Bogota. So the issue with Medellin, don't get me wrong, Medellin is great. Like I can, yeah. Like when I go to Medellin, it's just like too many girls overload. That being said, in Bogota, like there's really not that many white people who go there. Versus in Medellin, there's a lot of like for the past 10 years, white guys from all over the world have been going to Medellin to fuck those paisas. Like sex tourism is like a big thing there. So a lot of the hotter girls, they've already been approached numerous times. So now the factor isn't there. Now, when you go to Bogota, when I was in Bogota, like, dude, really, like, it was insane. Like, every other chick I would approach was, like, super down. Like, it was, like, even though I spoke almost no Spanish, so, like, my success rate there was, like, I literally felt like the blonde with big tits for, like, a week. Like, I was like, I'm perfect. Like, wow, I'm so good looking. Like, holy shit, like, I'm just crushing it. Reality was just, like, the sexual marketplace that was very favorable. But anyway, to get back to the question, I used to do a lot of that and it can work. The reason I don't do it anymore is because Tinder and just world has become a lot more SJW, and I find that has gotten me banned from Tinder several times, and I just don't want to keep getting banned. So it's just a pain in the ass. So I find that like the hardcore opener that goes into like the hookup, it can just, especially if you put any kind of sexuality in it, like it can get you banned. So I just don't do that anymore for that reason.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that effective these days with in-person interaction or even online dating. It's not really – it's risky. You know what I mean? It's risky because, again, look what happened to me and Brad in Mexico. I was like the nicest guy ever, and all of a sudden we're having an international media scandal.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I mean, sad, but also hilarious. All right, next question. Can you block a user, Bopanda Kumar, whatever the hell his name is, who comes in here spending dozens of dumb questions every single week? I don't know if we – I'm sure there is a way. I'll look into it. Justin, what happened to David and Mike? Did they go back to the States, and how did you like hang out with them?
Mike flew back to Vegas. Dave flew back to his home city in Cali. They peaced out. You know what's crazy about the media scandal? David predicted every single fucking thing that happened. So he told us, look, he's had
his own scandal with the whole Asia thing.
He's had dozens. He's had dozens of scandals.
What were the other ones?
David's had a lot of scandals, man. All over Asia. He's had it in Thailand. He's had it in.
So I know about the scandal where him and his friend. I actually know his friend. I like that guy in that video. The guy named Alex, but he stole the chick from the Asian guy. So that was a scandal. But what were the other ones?
He's had a lot. So that scandal was in Hong Kong. He's had them in Korea. He's had them in Taiwan. He's had them in like every Asian country, man. He's had them in Indonesia. He's had a lot. So he's been our like private consult.
David is a simple man. He just likes he likes chicks with big tits, and he likes filming shit on his GoPro. He's a very simple man.
Dude,
like,
he's not like a very simple guy. So we were living together. We were traveling together in Mexico for like, I think almost 2 months. Maybe wait. He came in June and he left on the 18th of August. So yeah, dude, he's with us for 2 months. We're like living together and traveling together for 2 months. It's crazy. And it was interesting because like you look at David and it's like, why did he have so many media scandals? Because that's it. He just likes big titty chicks and he likes riding a scooter and then he likes filming videos on his GoPro and then he likes to hang out with friends. That's pretty much that's David.
Sometimes he likes to combine all those, riding a scooter with big titty chick while he's filming his GoPro.
He had a video of him on a jet ski with a big titty chick, big titty Asian girl. Why do you have all these media scandals? It really goes to show you like.
Who doesn't like a big titty Asian chick? That's like a unicorn. Like they should be coveted, not fucking hated on. I'm gonna ask you off camera. You're gonna have to introduce. I want to get in touch with David, have him on for these live streams. I feel like he's gonna have an interesting perspective.
I'll hit him up for you.
Thank you. Which will appreciate us. Big Alex, how has meditation affected your game, if at all? So very mildly. I noticed that when I'm regularly meditating, I'm a little bit more grounded around girls. But it's not like a drastic effect. Like it's not like night and game difference or anything like that. All right. What are the guys' retention? What are your guys' retentions like? How many girls you sleep with once will sleep with you again? How many will become regulars? So passing the mic to you, sir.
So, and this is going to be sound a bit ridiculous, but I feel like it's literally gone to a point. Now, here's why I wanted to get a girlfriend. And this is like, I'm almost embarrassed to say this, but I felt like girls were just trying to use me for sex. And obviously, because my Tinder thing was like male stripper, good looking male stripper, whatever, like this insanely effective bio that makes me seem high status, really good photos, just optimized profile. And I literally felt like girls were like objectifying me. And I was like, this is so fucking weird, right? And like, and not see me. And or a lot of like girls want to date me because they like my personality. It's because they perceive me to be good looking, which I thought was like fucking insane, right? But it wasn't because I was good looking. It was because my photos were so optimized and tested and then photoshopped that they perceived me to be good looking. And also because I had a lot of Instagram followers and YouTube content. So I was kind of like, holy shit, like I felt kind of depressed. And I remember telling Brad, I want a girlfriend. I was like, Brad, I want a girlfriend. I'm just kind of sad these girls keep like using me and then like they don't want to see me again. But a lot of the girls who did want to see me again, it was for the wrong reasons. It was just because like they felt like they were like a cool guy. And it's almost like I just felt like they were using me, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I want a girl who like likes me for my personality and for who I am.
So my personal retention is, I would say, out of the girls I have sex with, I wind up about 1 out of 5 to 1 out of 10 become regulars. And honestly, at least half the time it's because of me. Like I don't want to see the girl again. Either, she wasn't that good at bed, or I just didn't like her personality. That's usually a big one. Like I'm very specific. I like girls who are sweet, who are loyal, who are like decent people, like almost the opposite of me, really. Like I like sweet, like not innocent. I do like a girl who like likes to get down, but like sweet and smart. And so like a lot of chicks just don't fall into that category. And then sometimes because of the girl, like maybe she just wanted a one night stand, maybe she just got over her boyfriend. So I'd say between 1.5, 5 and 1 out of 10. Depends on how carefully I'm screening. Become regulars. Probably closer to 1 out of 5. I think it's a little bit better than 1 out of 10. All right. If you're a fat, should you not do online dating at all and focus on cold approach, social circle game, in addition to obviously going to the gym and eating better? If you're a fat, you should literally just I would say if you're really fat, just focus mainly on losing your weight. And that's not going to be the gym so much. It's going to be more counting calories. So just don't eat as much.
It depends how fat we're talking, because like, what's fat? Like when you're saying hit the gym, like are we talking about like 100 pounds overweight, or are we talking about like a dude who's a bit chunky? You know what I mean? Like
yeah. The what the fuck is it called? The degree of fatness plays a big role. Like you don't want to be like super duper fat.
It's really hard for me to say because I've never been fat. I've always been extremely underweight.
Yeah, me too. I've never been fat.
Dude, like if you look at me, I look like I'm fucking Ethiopian, okay? I look anorexic. But I can talk from the other perspective. It's like, look, focus on what you can control, and then, don't worry about what you can't control. If you're really overweight, you can't really change that right now, but you can focus on losing weight. You can create a Tinder profile, and you can continuously improve your photos over time. So it won't hurt you to create an online dating profile and get some sort of references and some sort of results, right? Give it a try. Give it a go, right? There's no downside to not try, right? Because not trying is the same as doing nothing and not getting any results. So you might as well fucking try it. But you also should hit the gym, focus on your diet, focus on your health, and continue getting results. But if you're just like a chunky dude who's like a little bit like on the tubby lumpkin side of things, like I have a lot of friends who are a little bit like chubby, and they get really good results with girls. Like they get really, really good results with women.
They're a little chubby, but they're not like obese, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're not obese, but they're like dad bods, right? So if you have a dad bod, you can get really good results. In fact, I find a lot.
There's a huge difference between that and being like obese. Yeah.
Now, if I'm being honest with you, my biggest insecurity is guys with dad bods because I'm skinny as fuck. So I see them as like the other end of the spectrum. I'm like, oh shit, like these dad bod guys might steal my girl. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel sometimes. We're like
dad bod bros.
But like, look, girls are going to be attracted to different body types. Like the same way guys have different types and different. Mm-hmm. Like for me personally, I like fit girls with big asses, right, and small tits. I specifically like girls with small tits.
I like big ass and big tits.
I like or big asses with small tits. Okay, that's specifically what I like, right? So there's always gonna be a girl who's gonna like your body type. Now I find a lot of girls look at me and I'm so fucking skinny, and they look at me, they're like, "Wow, you're so like attractive," and I'm like, "Really? Like I look like Ethiopian as fuck." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. All right, so let's crack into the next question. What do you think about mainstream media scandal with Brad? Do you think mainstream pickup is dead because of the risk of femmes? No, I don't think it's dead. Like I've gotten this question before. We are much higher risk because we're putting our shit out there as dating coaches. But for the average person who's not doing what we do, there's like no risk at all.
For the average person, dude, for the average guy, there's literally zero risk to practice this material as long as you're not putting your content out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Even for us, like the risk is more like it's going to affect us in terms of business. Like we're not unless you're actually doing something fucked up. Like you're not going to actually, whatever, have something bad happen. Justin, has Valentine asked you to marry her yet and take her to Toronto?
Kinda, a little bit. Like we plan on like being together because like I really enjoy her company. It's been a very long time since I met anybody who I just thoroughly enjoy spending time with her. You know what I mean? But I pretty much told her once the border opens back up, I'm probably gonna bounce back up to Toronto. She's more than welcome to come. You know what I mean? Because I have everything set up there. I've got connections. I have friends. She's an actress, right? I have friends in the movie industry in Toronto who are like, I have friends who are like movie producers, and they're actually the ones who told me like, yo, dude, look, once you are ready to get into acting, I have connections straight into like film and television, stuff like that. So, because like I do a lot of social circle game again, right? I have a lot of like really high level fucking dudes in my social circle who I don't even talk about in my videos. But again, a lot of them are just like dudes in their late 30s and their 40s, even in their 50s, who are just like really well connected guys. And so, yeah, I mean, to answer that question, she's probably gonna be rolling with me. Well, we'll see how things go.
Yeah, let me ask you this: what's your favorite city that you've lived in? Like, where do you?
I love Toronto. It's
really? It's cold as fuck though.
It's cold, but fuck, man, the party's just so good.
You like it over Latin America?
Say again?
You like it over Latin America?
Ah, man. I don't know, man. It's hard to say because my first week in Mexico City was just fucking crazy. But then, like, the whole coronavirus thing just popped off everywhere, right? But, again, it's hard to say. There's some really good cities out there, though. There's, like, Manila, Philippines is a really fun party city. Mexico City is a really fun party city. Just good for lifestyle in general. Like, there's a lot of good cities, man. But Toronto is fucking up there in terms of quality of life. It's a little bit expensive, but it's pretty good, man. There, like, you can Tinder. There's really good. The nightlife there is amazing. The nightlife there is probably some of the best in North America.
My buddy John, who's traveled all across the world, his favorite city right now is Florianopolis in Brazil. And I've heard
actually really good things about Florianopolis as well. He told me
two other people that was their favorite city, or like top 3. So
I heard Florianopolis is good because you got a lot of like white Brazilians.
Yes.
And I heard the population ratio is like 60 to 70% women, which is really strange.
I never heard about that, but I don't know. The stories he's been telling me are crazy. All right, so let's go to the next question. How would you respond to a girl who says, I won't be dominated. I'm an equal. Won't have it any other way. I mean, first of all, if you're getting that kind of response, then there's something you did wrong going up to it, most likely, because you shouldn't really be getting that kind of response. But if I did get that, of course, I would say, of course, comma. I would just reframe it. Of course, comma. I'm talking about. So I don't know. It'd be like, of course, I'm talking about sexually silly or something like that. I would like reframe it as like she's like kind of off or something like that. Because thinking like when a chick says that, she means like she's talking about like emotionally and like whatever. I'd be like, of course, comma. I like an independent girl, but I was talking about sexually. I'm assuming you prefer a guy who likes to take charge, like something like that, where she has to like agree with you.
Now, here's the problem. This guy didn't give us any context with how he's asking the question. So
that's very common.
There's no context. It's like, did he say something to a girl and she like got angry at him? Like, what happened here? That's what I want to know. If he's like asking this question because they creepily said to their girl, I want to dominate you. And the girl's like, I'm not going to be dominated. Or if it's like a relationship, we don't really know the context.
Yeah. I mean, it's also huge. Is the concept of state ridiculous? So there's a scientific explanation for state. It's called flow state, right? So there's a book called The Rise of Superman by Stephen Kotler. So it's not like state isn't like woo-doo or whatever, like woo-woo. There's scientific thing that happens when your brain enters a flow state. And there's social flow states, there's athletic flow states, there's creative flow states. There's all kinds of flow states. So if you want to learn more about that, check out the book, The Rise of Superman. Very, very interesting. But no, it's not ridiculous. I just think it's ridiculous if you have to like rely on that. Like you can't like, oh, I'm not in state yet, I can't talk to girls. Like, no, like, you know, like it's awesome
as well. Because back when I was like a newbie, like kind of guy starting out, I used to try to girls. And funny enough, that's the only time you get results. But then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try like all the time, and it was a lot harder because it's like, how do you make the girl feel good emotions if you're not feeling good emotions? So I had to like learn how to like always be in this like positive kind of energy without being in state, which is really weird. And that's when I started getting really good results. Where I went from like pulling once a month to like pulling once a week to pulling like 3, 4, 5 times a week. You know what I mean? And so that's like, I don't think it's ridiculous at all. I think it's actually pretty logical. But
yeah, there's scientific explanation for it.
You don't want to rely on being state.
Yeah. Also, it's a lot easier to get into state when you're not trying to get state. If you're really trying to get into a flow state, you're gonna have a harder time doing it. So I'll give you guys a very quick explanation of the book. So you enter flow state, typically, there's all these factors that you need to learn out. But the main one is you have to be doing something that you find interesting and engages you. And it has to be challenging, but it can't be too challenging. So say you've never talked to a girl in your life, and I tell you to go approach a group set with a bunch of big guys. Even if you do it, you're not going to get into a flow state because that's way outside your comfort zone. Now, if you've been doing Daygame for 3 years, and I just tell you to approach a Daygame set, you're also unlikely to get into a flow state because that's within your comfort zone. So generally speaking, you have to be 5 to 10% outside your comfort zone to really hit that flow state. So that's generally the quick explanation on that. All right, so let's go to the next question. Would you say it's worth it to ever buy, boost, or pay for anything on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge as far as seeing who like you? Never have, but thoughts about it. So personally, I have Tinder Gold. I think it's just easier. You save so much time. What are your thoughts? I have a
trick, and I can't talk about it on the live stream because it's a little bit too ridiculous. But pretty much, I don't pay for, like, I have Tinder Gold and Boost and all this stuff. Like, pretty much, I figured out a way to game the system. So I have, like, unlimited free Tinder Gold and Boosts, like, as much as I want. But I'm not going to talk about it. So, because here's what happened. Brad spent like 10 grand US on like Boosts and Gold and all this stuff, and they banned his account. And I'm like, look, the way Tinder works is so fucking ridiculous. Where, if 3 girls report you, we test this. If 3 girls report you, your account gets banned. Yeah. So for example, David Bond, he's got 3 phones, and every time he's gonna meet up with a girl for a date, he'll ban her off Tinder. He'll share her profile to 3 phones, and he'll ban her off of fucking Tinder. It's hilarious.
What's the logic behind that?
Tinder has an automated system where, like, if
what's the advantage of getting the girl banned? Like, how does that help you?
Okay, think about this, right? If she could meet another guy like instantly off of Tinder, but now she doesn't have Tinder, and the girls aren't smart enough to figure out how to, like, bypass all these systems put in place by Tinder, they're not going to make a new Tinder account. They're not ever going to make it.
Clarify, because we're going to get so many feminist hate. We're talking about a few girls. We're not talking about all girls are not smart enough. Girls are clearly smart enough. What do you mean is that not girls that they're not smart enough? They just don't care.
It's not that the girls. It's just like, okay, look. If the average guy doesn't know how to get unbanned from Tinder, the average girl is definitely not going to know how to get.
They're just not as interested in like fucking.
Yeah, they're not as interested
as we are. Yeah, they're smart. Yeah. I just want to clarify this before we get banned off YouTube.
Again, it's not all girls. It's like it's just, I feel like girls in general, they're less likely to like figure out how to bypass these systems, right?
They're more likely going to be like, I guess it's not meant to be. Let's
exactly. Whatever. Fuck it. Yeah. This is fate. This is destiny. And so, like,
versus a guy's going to be like, fuck, playing with 5 forms. What do I do?
Super, super funny. And so, anyway, I found a way to not pay for it because dude, it's fucked up. Like, I bought Tinder Gold. I spent like $200 on like gold and boosts, and I got banned within 24 hours, and they wouldn't refund my boosts. And I'm like, I didn't use it. This is fucked up, right? So I had to call my bank, dispute the payment because I didn't use these credits. They won't refund it, right? It's been like almost 2 months now. I haven't gotten the money back. It's ridiculous, man. I'm kind of over these companies doing this bullshit. So I was like, you know what? I'm not paying
so much sketchy, unethical shit. It's not even funny.
Yeah, so you know what? I pretty much I'm not going to give too much away, but I have a way to pretty much get the money back or like not spend real money on these platforms.
Does it involve doing credit card chargebacks or something totally different?
No. I don't want to talk about it. Just like legal reasons and whatnot, but it doesn't involve credit card chargebacks, and it's perfectly legal as well. It's perfectly legal.
Yeah, you know, one other thing on a different note I've noticed is with Tinder Boost. So say this is your baseline, right? You're getting this many matches. You do a boost, you come up here, but then afterwards you go below baseline. So I'm 99% sure about this. What Tinder's doing is they're lowering your baseline if you're the kind of guy who buys boosts to get you hooked on boosts so you feel like you need more and more. So if you're getting averaging 10 matches a day, then you run a boost. During that boost, you say you get 40 matches, but then they're going to take you to 5 matches a day. So
here's the problem, okay? When you make a brand new Tinder account with a new email, a new phone number, right, your ELO score resets. And Tinder looks at you as if you're a brand new user who's never used a platform. And a lot of people don't know this, but what they'll do is they'll kind of like boost your account for like 12
everyone knows the new boost for 2 days, yeah.
Yeah, so it's usually about 48 hours, right?
Yeah, 48 hours, yep.
If you use a boost on top of that, I got 600 matches in 1 fucking day doing that, okay?
So you're like double dipping, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It was crazy, dude. It was insane. I didn't use 1 boost actually. I used like probably 15 boosts. I got about 15, and I don't pay for it. I don't pay for it.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that more off camera.
So I knew I was going to get banned again. I had a feeling I was going to get banned again. So I immediately in that one day, the 600 numbers, I probably bounced like 300 numbers off of Tinder.
Wait, 600 matches, 300 numbers? You got 50% of the girls to give you their number?
Maybe it wasn't 300 numbers. Maybe it was like 200, but it had to be at least 200 girls' numbers. My ratios were super high that day, like super.
Yeah, I don't even know how you keep up with that. That's like that would be even too much even for me.
I have to Tinder on my laptop, dude. It's like a full-time job. It was like 8 hours of like copying and pasting numbers, sending automated.
Kind of froze there for a second. Yo, still with us, buddy? Hello? Oh, shit. Yo, Justin. Yo. Oh, son of a bitch.
I'm back.
All right. Well, let me remove your old one from the stream. We are good. I was worried for a second. Yeah, we were talking about like game mass matches, but yeah, that's my take on that. So personally, what I do is actually you guys can check out the new video I just put out, which talks about how to use. It's called How to Use Tinder, and I go into all my settings. But generally speaking, I will only use Boost if I'm in like new city and time is of an essence. And I do have Tinder Gold because it's just so easy. Super likes, I just use the super likes I get every day. I don't like pay for them. All right, so let's go. Oh wow, we just skipped through so many questions. Okay, but we have so many that doesn't really matter. Okay. RSD Justin is on Kratom right now. He cannot stop talking. No, but I'm actually on Kratom.
So here's the thing. I have ADHD, and I haven't eaten anything today. Like, I haven't eaten breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and it's midnight where I'm at. And it just makes me talk really fucking fast. It's really strange.
Kratom doesn't really, at least for me, Kratom doesn't make me super talk a lot. It just makes me a little bit more creative. At least not extreme dose. It just makes me more creative, more like insightful. I feel like I just can access more of my brain. But I don't really do big doses.
It depends on the strain, because I've taken Kratom, and it felt like I was on fucking like meth or some shit. Like I was just like, this is weird. I don't want to feel this anymore. Fuck this, right? But then I've taken strains of Kratom that I just felt very chill and very zen.
Oh, dude, yeah, because they have totally different strains that will affect you differently. So green, reds, yellows, whites, yeah, totally different. My personal favorites are greens. This is the best iPhone 11 Pro Max. All right. Okay, wait. Troll question. All right, we're getting a lot of troll questions. Hang on.
There's a lot of troll questions in here, dude. I think I saw a J-Wolf comment somewhere up in here. I can't see the comments now.
Yeah, I skipped that. J-Wolf is a good buddy of mine, but I'm not going to get into like negative shit. How to cultivate abundance when you're experiencing scarcity. All right.
Good question.
How do you cultivate abundance when you're experiencing scarcity? Well, it's a little bit of a chicken and egg thing, right? But I think that it's really hard to deceive yourself into abundance when you're not getting laid. So if you haven't gotten laid in a month, it's going to be hard for you to just convince yourself it becomes like, it's like almost like how do you get yourself to start a new habit? You just have to force yourself, right? So it's kind of like the same thing. Like you just put out a lot of work, you start getting laid, and then you start jumping into abundance. But it's like, yeah, it's like a weird chicken and egg thing, and you have to like, I don't know, put the horse before the cart, so as to speak.
Yeah, I would say a really good way to do that as well is you almost want to trick your brain almost like subconsciously into like thinking you have abundance. So, for example, what you could do is you could just watch like, and maybe this won't work for everyone, but you could like binge watch like a shit ton of like PUA infield content or like stuff like that. Or you could go out and like game for like fucking 18 hours a day and like do an insane amount of pickup. But now because you're interacting with girls, you just kind of feel like you have a bit of abundance, right? And I find when you do those kind of things, your brain almost like rewires itself in its sleep to feel like, oh, it's okay to, you know, talk to girls. It's okay. You have girls around you. You know what I mean? Another good way is you could do social circles type things where you're just around a lot of hot girls. Now, the problem is
most of the guys who are in scarcity, they don't have a social circle.
Yeah, I mean that could be a problem as well. I mean, some of them, some do. They just don't have like dating intimate abundance.
Yeah,
but
their social circle is just like a bunch of like nerds, like hanging out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a really tough question because it's very situational. Again, right? It's like, what city are you in? Are you in like a random small town in the middle of nowhere? Are you in a western city? Are you in like a small foreign third world country? It really depends on where you're at. I would say the best way to get abundance is like literally just go to the biggest city you're around and just practice this stuff. You know what I mean? But with online dating, it shortcuts your abundance really quickly. Like in 1 week, I find with online dating, in 1 week you can get the same amount of abundance that you'd have in like 3 months, for example.
Very true. Yeah, it's like a shortcut for sure. And it's a good shortcut. Like it's good to be in abundance because then your cold approach is going to be a lot better.
Dude.
Just want a hot chick from Tinder the other night versus if you haven't got laid in a while, it's going to be less thirsty, less needy.
I met Valentina on the street. Okay, when I met her, I was intimidated of her. I was actually like intimidated of her because she's got all these followers and shit. And she was very sure of herself. She was very confident. And when I was interviewing her, she was like flirting with me. And I was like, "This is cool, right?"
Were you interviewing her? What do you mean interviewing her?
So I do street interviews. I like to do street interviews.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. Right.
And I was actually, funny enough, the interview was an interview about dating apps. I was like, "What's your favorite dating app?" and stuff like that. What kind of dating apps do you use the most, right? And it was funny because I didn't really feel intimidated because I had so much abundance. I had so many girls from online dating, Tinder, girls texting me that I was like, okay, look, why would I feel intimidated approaching a girl on the street obviously I've done cold approach for like 8 years and I've done it like every fucking day for like years and years. But, regardless, I think it's pretty normal for a man to feel nervous around a beautiful woman. But why would you feel nervous when you have all these other girls texting you? You wouldn't.
Less so, yeah. It's definitely a cumulative effect. I like this question. How is Rhaegar doing tonight? Is he handling the lightning like a champ? Let's see how Rhaegar is doing. Wait, let me get it. He's passed out. Rhaegar, are you handling the lightning like a champ?
Yeah, how do you?
He doesn't give a shit. Rhaegar does not give a rat's ass. All right. How many girls don't? Well, let's go for it because we just went for 2 hours. Let's go for another like 15 minutes and then we'll just call it because our voices are gonna die. How many girls don't you meet up with after you get the number from Tinder, and how many of your good comments lead to nothing when texting? So we kind of already answered this question. We'll just skip through that. Okay, there's a lot. I see a lot of bickering in here, so I have to skip through all that. Oh, Jesus Christ.
People love drama, man. People love drama.
Okay. What excuse? Do we have a chick on here? What excuse do you use to take a girl with a fiance out to keep it low key? Well, I'll probably just invite her straight over my place for a bottle of wine. That's really the most low key thing ever. Just invite her straight over for a bottle of wine. If she has a fiance and she wants to go out with you, then she's already kind of made the conscious decision probably that she's open to cheating. So
yeah, she's never done it. It's kind of her choice.
At that point, it really wouldn't be that far of a stretch to just invite her straight over.
You know what's funny? Like, I feel bad about that kind of thing. Like, I feel really bad about it. But it's like, this is the world we live in, man. Like, this is how these girls are.
Dude, I honestly, like, I feel no guilt. If I'm hooking up with a girl and she's married, I don't really give a shit. Like, I wouldn't. What I would never do is I would never hook up with like my buddies, girlfriends. Or anything like that.
That's a fucking no. So here's the thing.
Like, if I don't know the guy,
I don't feel bad. It's not that I don't feel bad, but it's like, look, I feel bad for the guy. That doesn't mean like I feel sad. Like, it doesn't mean like I care about him. Like, it's a random. I have a really interesting story which I don't want to share right now because like my girlfriend's right here, but pretty much, I've had an insane amount of experiences where girls have boyfriends and they'll cheat. And look, there's nothing you can do because one time I actually messaged a girl's boyfriend, because I saw her Instagram the next day. She had a boyfriend. I messaged the boyfriend being like, look, dude, I'm so sorry. I hooked up with your girlfriend. I had no fucking idea. I just wanted you to know because if I was in your position,
I don't like shit like that.
I felt bad, bro. I felt bad.
You kind of ratted out the girl, though.
I don't care. I blocked the girl, dude. I was pissed. I said, like, I was like, look, she's in my story. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry. If I knew, I wouldn't have done this. And the reason I felt bad about it was because I had my ex-girlfriend text me the same day, and she was kind of like harassing me. And I kind of just felt like a soft spot for this dude, like for a fellow bro out there. And I was like, I got to tell this guy because his Instagram, like I found his Instagram from her Instagram, and it was just photos of this girl. He was uploading photos for her every single day. And I was thinking, man, if I was in his position, I would want to know. I would want someone to tell me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, that's a whole thing. With
Alex, the guy got pissed off at me. The guy got mad at me. The guy got fucking angry.
That doesn't surprise me at all, dude. Most people shoot the messenger.
He didn't believe it was true. He thought, like, the girl denied it, of course. She denied that she even knows me, even though she's on my story and she's texting me. And I'm like, look, there's proof. Believe it or not, I don't give a fuck. I was literally on an airplane flying out of the country. And I'm like, look, I don't care if you believe me or not. I just thought you should know, right? And he was like, my girl would never do that. And I'm like, okay, I'm never going to tell.
I'm my dick right now.
Yeah, man. It's just crazy. Like,
dude, that doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah, I'll tell a quick story that's actually kind of funny. So this is crazy shit. So I have one of my really good friends, right? I'm not gonna use his real name, but let's call him Jared, right? So my really good friend Jared, me and him went to college together. We lived together for a while, like really one of my closest friends ever. So he has a girlfriend. Let's call her Jackie. And what's it called? Jared and Jackie were, they're together, they're living together, like very, in an exclusive relationship. And I'm pretty good. I'm obviously that's my buddy, but I'm also friends with his girlfriend, right? Like we have a good relationship. I genuinely like her as a person. So then I'm hanging out. One night I'm hanging out with my buddy. Let's call him Jeff or whatever. And they all start with J. Me and Jeff are hanging out, and my Facebook pops up, and he's like, "Hey, how do you know Jackie?" I was like, "She's dating one of my buddies." He's like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Yeah, she's dating my friend." She's like, "You're shitting me." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Nah, never mind." So it took me a while, but I got the full story out of him. So a few months ago, him and his buddy went out, and they picked up two girls. One of them was this Jackie, and they had whatever. They hooked up with them. And so then I found out that these two guys who don't know each other at all, one of them had sex with whatever the girlfriend. So I'm like, well, what do I do? Now, under any normal situation, I would stay out of it. Like, this is my general policy. I don't get involved in people's things. But this is one of my closest friends on this planet. And I truly like his girlfriend. I don't want to snitch her out, but I can't, like, I have to, like, always have my friends back.
You have to, bro. You have to, man. I'm all about the bro code, dude. I'm all about the bro code. To me, my boys are number one, dude. Like, I put my friends over my own relationships with girls, hands down.
Yeah, same. But so this is what happened. So kind of what you were talking about earlier. So he lived right next to me. So I called him at like 2 a.m. I'm like, yo, dude, we got to meet up. He's like, dude, what is it? I'm like, no, come out. We got to talk. He's like, okay, man. So we come out. I tell him everything. I say, I'm so sorry. He just looks at me and he's like, okay, man, thank you for telling me. I'm going to go break up with this bitch. And then he goes back inside his apartment, and now they're married.
Whoa.
and I wasn't invited to the wedding. He like.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he never. It's not like he stopped being friends with me, but like after that, our friendship took a big dip because I think every time he sees me, he thinks of that. So our friendship suffered.
That's fucked. He didn't invite you to the wedding?
He didn't invite me, no. He didn't
invite
me.
You never know what's going on in people's heads, you know what I mean? And so, obviously, this girl put some twisted shit in his fucking head, you know what I mean?
I don't even know if it's so much that, honestly. Like, she's actually a pretty good person. I think that she literally made a mistake, right? And I think she probably was legitimately sorry for it. But I think that every time he sees me, he like has to think about that. So he just basically decided to shoot the messenger and like minimize me in his life. It's not like he completely cut me out or anything like that. Like we'll still talk once in a while. But I definitely noticed like a dip in our friendship like after that. And like he would never want to talk about it. I was like, hey man, so what's going on with your relationship? He's like, oh man, let's not talk about it. So it was weird.
There's a comment that says this guy is talking crazy in front of his girl. And honestly, dude, it's just because I'm open as fuck. Like, I try not to hide anything. I try to be congruent in all areas of my life. You know what I mean? I talk like this in front of my parents.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. But let's answer this question. What is RSD and LMR? RSD stands for Real Social Dynamics. It's a company, and LMR is last minute resistance. So that's when you bring a girl back to your place and she's down to have sex, and then she kind of changed her mind. All right, let's do like one or two more questions.
Cool, bro.
My voice is actually starting to give out. Dude, oh man, these questions went downhill. Okay, there we go. When are Instagram game videos coming? So they're coming in a few months. It's going to take time. I'm still learning Instagram. It's still a thing. So be patient with me, young Padawans. But if you go to our Instagram at Real Playing Fire, I just posted an Instagram, example of a cold DM to number close a few days ago, or I think maybe it was even yesterday. So check that out. So there are some examples already that I put out, but the videos are going to take a little bit of time.
Man, Instagram has been such a huge part of my game. And my Instagram's temporarily, it's disabled because it's linked to my Facebook, which is banned right now. So I'm like praying. I'm literally praying to fucking God I get my Facebook back, right? So that way I get my Instagram back because I've got 13,000 followers on Instagram. Now imagine this, right? Anytime a girl follows me on Instagram, they see 13,000 followers. They see like my photos have like 1,000 likes on them, right? They see all these comments. Right? They see my really good photos, these optimized photos that I use for Tinder on my Instagram too, right? And then my bio just seems really high stats, like traveled to 50 countries, author, dating coach, YouTuber. In a girl's head, dude, even if she sees like this fuckboy stuff, because I post like a lot of story highlights of me just going crazy with girls, it looks horrible. But a lot of these girls, man, they just get more attracted to you. You know what I mean? And so Instagram game it's actually fucking like the world we live in right now, man, with social media and technology and everyone being on the phones all the time. Instagram game is pretty crucial to getting results with girls in general in any Western city. Like any big Western city where people speak English, you pretty much need Instagram.
It definitely helps for sure. I wouldn't say you need it. Like you can definitely get by without it, but it definitely helps. Would love to hear more about how you handle LMR and baby stepping when you're back at your place. So I'm not going to get too into the LMR simply because I don't want to misinterpret it.
Yeah,
I want it to be misinterpreted. Again, like feminist or whatever. So I'm not going to get into that. You actually have the product, Matthew. So check out that section on that. Baby stepping, I can talk about a little bit. So what I'll typically do, say I'm on a public date, right? So I used to have like this whole thing. Now I'm a lot more straightforward about it. But typically, take a chick on a public date. We're hanging out. I'm not making out with her, but I'm physically escalating a little bit, building some sexual tension. And once there's a good vibe, once you can tell she's like, there's some sexual tension, I'll just say, oh, let's go somewhere else. And literally, she'll like put out whatever, pay for the drink, and I just walk her straight to my place. That's literally what I do, and it works extremely well.
Yeah, I mean, you just want to make her feel comfortable and safe, so that I find usually when a girl doesn't want to come with you, it's because she doesn't feel safe with you. It's pretty much as simple as that.
Yeah. I'm gonna answer this question. Wait. All right. I'm definitely getting Justin Marc's online product repeat. They have higher lay counts. Why don't you fucking get both? Like they're not mutually exclusive. It's not like you have to limit yourself to one.
I hate when people think that like we can't all win. A lot of people think like I'm better than you, so you can't win. It's not how it works. So a lot of my friends are some of the biggest content creators on this planet. Okay, some of the biggest YouTubers, some of the biggest like influencers. And what's funny, they actually are. They're not like pickup artists, but they're all into pickup. And I found that like a lot of my really successful friends, for example, Luis Mercado, he has a show called To Catch a Cheater, and he built his show not even so he could have a business, so he could be famous. He only did it so he could meet girls, because he figured if he becomes like an influencer type guy, he'll meet a lot of girls. And he's been in like pickup for like 15 years, right? My good friend Jamie Zhu, he built his career off of speaking to strangers, right? Now, a lot of the mindsets these guys have is that we can all fucking win. And why do these guys try to hang out with me? Why do I want to hang out with them? It's because we all realize, look, everyone knows something that you don't fucking know. Everyone who's successful knows things that you don't know. And when you hang around smarter people, you're going to pick that off of these other people, right? Like why, you know what I've learned from David Bond? From hanging out with David Bond, I learned all kinds of like technological little hacks to bypass systems so I could like be private with my information. You know what I mean? David taught me about like cryptocurrency. He taught me about how to like bypass like Airbnb systems so I can
dude, for sure. I've even learned from clients. Like sometimes a coaching session leads like the client learns 95%, I learn 5%. Like even from clients, I pick up like tidbits.
My students, I had a student who was a real estate millionaire, and he started like coaching me on like business stuff, and I was like, whoa, because the dude was like twice my age. He was like in his late 40s, right? And he was like a multimillionaire. He has a Lamborghini. So of course, you can always learn things from people who know things that you don't know, right? And a lot of people think we can't all win, but yes, we can all win. We all can win.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm going to address this. They have higher lay counts. Dude, we all have, me, you, Bradicus, we all have I don't want to put words in your mouth, but we all have like ridiculously high lay counts. Like to the point where, do you personally count or do you just stop counting at one point?
Yeah, so mine's like nearing 300 now. Brad's is like over 500. I don't know. Like I don't really count.
Yeah, I stopped counting ages ago. I'm probably between you guys. I'm probably between 300 and 500. I don't think I'm over 500. But anyways, it's irrelevant. Like there's such irrelevant information.
I don't think it really matters as well, because it's like a lot of guys have this like ego to this kind of thing where it's like they think that will make you happy. But I find like the more you have like random one night stands, the more depressed you get, at least at some stages of your life. You know what I mean? I find like a lot of casual sex makes me depressed.
Yeah, it just depends on what you're into, but I prefer more like booty call type of stuff. Like I like hanging out with chicks who I'm gonna see again. I feel like the first time, like you don't even do all the things you want to do because there's like, you know, the novelty factor. So like, you know, like me and my booty call, like last night we got to some fucking kinky ass role play, but we wouldn't have done that like the first date. Like it takes a little bit of time and comfort. Like we were doing like fucking massage therapist role play, or like she was the massage therapist and I was like the nerdy client who was like, no, I don't want to do this. I'm just here for a massage. And she's like taking advantage of me. Like, I don't know. Then we tried something completely different. I don't know, just like all this crazy shit that you can do. But you're not going to do it the first time. All right, Alex, how many exclusive relationships have you had? Do you think you might have a girl chemistry with to be definitely have kids, etc.? I've had 3 or 4 exclusive relationships, depending on what we count. And do you think you might? Yeah, I think I probably will at some point. I just don't think it's going to happen next year or two. But definitely, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be like single forever. At least that would be kind of sad. It just depends on what I want changes as I get older. Like when I was younger, I was all about.
How old are you right now?
I'm 30.
So okay, that's what I thought. So as you get later in your 30s, your testosterone changes, right? And
not for me because I'm on TRT.
Not yours. Okay,
it's but sky high.
A lot of your hormones change and whatnot. And I've heard that like some guys all of a sudden they hit like 34, 35 and they just have an instinct to want to have kids. Do you ever feel that way?
No, I personally really don't want to have kids. I have a dog and he's like more than enough of a handful. But that might change at some point. Like maybe in my 40s, I would be interested. How old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay, so you're super young. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that my hormones will probably always stay like of that of like a 25-year-old because I'm always gonna like do TRT and then probably as I get older.
TRT? Did you get hair loss? Do you experience any hair loss?
Me personally, not really, but I take a lot of measures to counteract that. So, for example, I take saw palmetto, which prevents.
or anything like
What?
that? Rogaine?
Yeah, I use Rogaine. I take saw palmetto, which prevents. So it's not the testosterone makes you lose hair; it's the DHT, which is a byproduct of testosterone. Saw palmetto prevents the conversion of that. I do derma rolling. I've done PRP injections. So I do a lot of things. So personally, for me, it hasn't made my hair loss worse, but it can for sure. I also don't abuse testosterone. I don't take like crazy doses. I take therapeutic doses. So the goal with testosterone replacement is to just get your testosterone of that of like a healthy 18-year-old who sleeps 8 hours a day, eats healthy, and plays football, like something like that, but something that's naturally achievable. Whereas some people go into like these, hyperhuman levels, and that just like has a lot more side effects. So I personally don't do that.
I'm sure I benefit from like TRT myself, but I like it's just then you're going bald. Then you got to take like pills so you don't go bald. Then you got to like take fucking squirt Rogaine in your hair every day. Then you got to take Viagra so your penis works because I know with TRT you might get erectile dysfunction. Or with, I think it's the hair stuff. Some of the hair supplements make you have erectile dysfunction.
Propecia.
Yeah, Propecia does for sure.
Yeah, Propecia does. Not all the time, but it's been known to have that. For me, testosterone, honestly, I probably have more sex drive than my. Well, actually, that's like that for most people. So I think that my sex, not that I was ever bad or something like that, but it's only gotten better. I don't take like any Viagra or Cialis or anything like that. But you know what's popular right now? I don't know if you've heard about this, but people microdose Cialis, and not just for sex, but also general health benefits, and also for like getting better pumps in the gym. Like my doctor like proposed that to me numerous times. Maybe I'll take him up on it one day. But microdosing Cialis.
Crazy. What would a microdose be?
Like a fraction of the regular dose of like maybe a 10 or 50 or something like that, like significantly lower than normal dose.
I take a lot of Viagra and a lot of Cialis in my time because I noticed it had all kinds of different benefits. Like taking Cialis, I felt like my energy levels were higher as well, which is fucking strange.
You have more blood flow. I mean, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
You should bet if you're into that, check out microdosing Cialis. It's much more sustainable to just microdose every day.
You could just take one pill every day, and it'd probably be like something similar.
Yeah, you could. I don't know if I would personally do that, but you could. All right, so I think we just covered a lot of shit. We could honestly, with the amount of questions we have, we could keep going for like another 5 hours, but I think we got to call it at a certain point. My voice is kind of starting to give out a little bit. But yeah, man, thank you for coming on. So how can people find you?
So my Instagram is temporarily disabled right now, but they should be able to find me at instagram.com/drunkjustin. My YouTube channel is up, but I've privated 100 videos because the whole media scandal we're going through.
We'll link that in the description below. Do you have like a website or anything like that?
Yeah, we just Snapchat, Instagram. My Snapchat's still up. Instagram, YouTube. I have a Telegram group as well. I'll send you the link.
So we're going to link everything after this video. We're going to link everything in the description below, so you guys can follow Justin. And let's all wish him well for this whole little media. Snaggle.
Hey, if I can get my Instagram back, bro. My Facebook, Instagram.
Whether you're a fan of Justin or not, I think we can all agree that's total bullshit. That he lost his whatever, his Instagram, whatever. Like it's just like fucking censoring is total bullshit. Like so, regardless of how you felt about this interview, I think we should support him and help him, get more followers and all that stuff. All right, guys, thank you for watching. So next Sunday, we're going to have another guest on, and then we're going to put out a video on Tuesday. We have some really good content coming out this week. So make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Also, so I think this media scandal kind of shows how vulnerable some of these platforms are. And even though I take every step to make sure my YouTube channel never gets banned, you never know. So I want you guys to all go on Instagram and follow me at Real Plague Fire, so we have that backup. Also, go to the forums, make an account. So there's a backup. So if God forbid anything ever happens to my YouTube channel, which I don't think it will, I hope not. We don't have to like.
Your content's pretty cool, man. Like, your content's pretty like. I think you're good. You
never know, bro. You never know. You guys weren't doing anything that crazy either, were you?
True. No. Like, I mean, okay, mass texting girls like 5,000 a time.
So what? Was there a law against that? Telemarketers do like 10,000 robocalls a day. Like, what?
We might be breaking like some sort of like privacy laws with like fucking like business laws and shit like that. But definitely, we weren't doing anything illegal in terms of like criminal charges and stuff like that. But they're trying to come after us. with
You weren't
everything.
doing anything that I mean, granted, I didn't watch all your videos, but I didn't see anything like the few that I did see, at least on Bradicus's channel. I didn't see anything
No,
like.
I'm pretty careful, man. Like Brad is very careless. I'm very careful.
But he's a little bit more careful because this is the second time around. Like I think the first time he was very careless, and then he got banned. But now I feel like he's a little bit better now. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
No?
I don't know. Like he's. I guess so. Like he's more careful what he puts on YouTube for sure.
Yeah. Before we end up, I actually wanted to ask you, what's So I've hit up Bradicus, and he's kind of MIA. So is he all right now, or what's he doing?
Yeah, he's pimping it, dude. He's having a great time. He's meeting tons of girls.
That's good to hear.
He's meeting a ton of girls.
In some undisclosed location.
Yeah, I can't say. I can't say, bro.
Hiding in the jungle of the Amazon, like fucking like running around with like a fucking like a cloth, whatever pants. All right, awesome, man. Thank you for coming on, and thank you for everyone for tuning in.
Thanks, bro.
Anytime,
Take care,
bro.
guys.
Take care, guys.